Hello, welcome to the Tsports Network, the home of tabletop sports. I am Rob, and I'm joined by Peter The Falcon Colosimo.
Something like that, I don't know.
And we're at the Capital Bloodbath 2022, round 4, fourth round of the day. Canadians are just made of different stuff. Oh yeah, you can smell the Warhammer that's all over me.
I can smell the ramen off this guy.
It's so powerful. And we have got two very exciting matches to round off the day. You looking forward to it?
I am. These are two super amazing matchups with some super amazing people. We've got
incredible armies.
Astra Militarum.
Yeah, the guard, the humans
versus Imperial Knights. Eric the Massacre Marcoux over here
Eric Marcoux
with his House Raven Knights going up against a Banehammer of all things. So this is going to be an exciting matchup. And then at table 2, we've got Sam Procopio. Just the most sexiest man in this room.
Big Boss Blood Angel Baby Cakes.
Yes.
That's what I call him now. Let's go, Big Daddy. Okay, I've seen a handshake, so something's happening over there.
I think they're about to get started.
So I think they're about to get started.
Yeah, they're starting the game. So Sam here running Blood Angels, and he's playing against Jeffrey Korster.
Well, should we go to the tables?
Worcestershire.
Yeah, so we're gonna go. We're gonna jump to table 2. So this is our Blood Angels, Sam Procopio
versus Jeff Forster.
Yeah, versus Jeff Forster. Jeff Forster.
How do you pronounce that? Worcester?
Forester.
No,
Forester.
No, the city, Worcestershire.
Worcestershire.
Anyway,
we've just heard several wars in the venue, which does officially declare the beginning of a 4th round.
No, I don't think that's a war. I think that man is dying.
That's an Ottawa. That's an Ottawa war.
Ottawa war.
That's an Ottawa war. It's more like Ottawa.
So
that's how it goes.
So it does look like.
What's the mission, Pete? Let's start there.
Oh yes, sorry, I get too excited. So
me too. What's the mission?
Let's pull it up real quick.
Okay, so to let you know, you can see at the very top that's Sam with his Blood Angels, Jeff Forrester with his Tau. So Tau versus Blood Angels. Exclamation mark lists in the chat. That'll bring you up a document prepared by the Hef. And you can check it out.
So the mission here is tear down their icons. This is a pretty unique mission. It's a hold 1, hold 2. But the other primary is actually an action called Prime Explosives. And the only way to score those extra, like 15 possible points you can score at the end of the game is you have to make it into your opponent's deployment zone and perform an action to place a new objective marker. And if that objective marker lasts for the entirety of the game, you score 4 points per objective marker you've managed to place in your opponent's deployment zone.
So at least the Tau Army's never doing that.
Yes.
Yeah. The Tau Army's never doing that, right?
The Tau Army is well. Here's the thing: the Tau Army's a little unique here. It's not your run-of-the-mill list.
It's 3 Hammerheads.
The 3 Hammerheads is normal, but he's not running Farside Enclaves. He's not running Tau Sept. He's running pinpoint targeting and calm under pressure.
So he's created his own special sub-faction.
His own special planet that his Tau live on.
Okay, nice.
And these Tau, when you're within 12 inches of your opponent, they get an additional strength on all their guns if they're assault, which the majority of the guns in this list are, and they ignore cover. So this is really... This list is kind of primed to deal with Armor of Contempt. That's at least what Jeffrey was planning on here. So he wants to be up close and personal. He does have 20 Breachers, which have assault weapons that now are going to be at a strength that Sam has to be worried about them.
So Armor of Contempt also being the +1 save.
+1 to save that came with anybody that wore power armor, like these Blood Angels. So this is a very interesting list. He does have three blocks of Crisis Suits with mixed weapons, mostly plasma rifles, but he does have a couple flamers in there. He's got those 3 Hammerheads. He's got a Cold Star Commander. He's got a regular. He's got an Ethereal. He's got 3 stealth suits. So this is a list that is designed for close-range shooting, and he's going up against Blood Angels, which want to be as close to you as physically possible.
Oh, that's interesting. That creates a really interesting dynamic, right, for the game. So there you can see, interesting shot there from the side angle. You can see none of the Blood Angel army, basically. No. Like, the Tau army can see nothing.
No, they're just like, what's going on? So we can see Sam is measuring his incursors to see if he can get a turn 1 charge in with them. Sam can be very aggressive. Also, we had a pre-game move of the Death Company you see in the middle of the table here. I'm pointing at it with my finger, even though I actually have a physical pointer. So we've got this Death Company that have chained into the middle objective. And this is kind of key to some of Sam's plans. They're still within range of the Sanguinary Priest, so they're getting a 6-up Feel No Pain if the Tau get in their face. They get their rerolls
Great
from the captain that's going to be here in the back, along with the majority of the jump pack units.
So how many Sanguinary Guard have we got? Because we've already seen Sanguinary Guard today, Pete, and I wasn't impressed.
You weren't.
For the Chosen, I mean, to be fair, the Primarch was a bit of a failure too. So like, whoa! I'm just saying, like, he died.
He did die. I mean, but he died doing a good thing. Anyway, once again, 21 Sanguinary Guard. So we do have 21 Sanguinary Guard in this list. The thing that Sam does that a lot of people don't, he doesn't take Dante, the Chapter Master. He says, screw that guy. He has his own custom Chapter Master that he's built out with the Visage of Death.
Yeah.
And that is a relic that shuts off objective secured within 3 inches. And he also has Rights of War, which gives objective secured to himself and all of the units around him.
Is it like a 6-inch bubble?
Yeah, so this is a really good little ticket to pop into the middle of the board or onto any objective that's held by literally anything and say, this is mine now. And he can use that in the late game whenever he wants to, steal an extra 4 points off of his opponent.
Clever.
It's a good 8-point swing frequently. He's also running a Librarian with Jump Pack, which not a lot of Blood Angels players do. He loves having that Death Hex at his hand. You know what I'm trying to say. The Ignore Invulns.
Yes.
Psychic power. And he's got Fury of the Ancient, so he can bump up one of his characters and make them just that little bit more doubly. And the Sanguinary Priest to res people and live their best lives. And it's a chief apothecary, so he's getting his free heals. A couple other things that Sam does. He loves to run Eliminators, because Eliminators have an option to...
So this is the second time we've seen Eliminators in the Blood Angels list. Is it because, what's the purpose? Eliminators obviously super good into armor, great AP, big damage?
No, not Eradicators.
Oh, I apologize.
Sorry, GW, we know that you named everything basically the same. Eliminators are the snipers. But what makes them really good in Blood Angels is the Instigator Bolt Carbine is something you can put on a Sergeant. It lets you move after you shoot.
Ooh.
So these Eliminators can start up here on this line if he wants to.
Yeah.
And then if he gets first turn and his opponent is a little too
Which we know he is going first.
Then he can move, shoot, move again, and get a really quick charge if he wants to score a Relentless Assault or any of his secondaries that rely on him being in your opponent's face. It also gives him the option to play very defensively. He can move out into the open to get better line of sight on something, shoot, and then run back behind a barrier. It's a great tech piece. Sam uses it amazingly well because he's played this army all year, and there's a reason why he's #1 in Canada. You
can absolutely see why. And I've already heard his on-table etiquette, which is fantastic. You can already see why he's doing so well, because when you understand an army this deeply, you often you lose something like Dante. You start producing. You're like, there's this clutch bit turn 3, turn 4, where I always need this thing. How can I go find that in my book? You go back to your book. A lot of people talk about netlist, cookie cutter builds, and all these other things. It's those tiny differences that can really change the course of an army.
Exactly. Now, I do believe we heard that Val is ready to give us some kind of performance update.
He is. Okay, so this is this game. We're still, just a quick look at Table 1. We're still deploying, I think. So this is our Knights being run by Eric Marcoux against Zach with a guard. And this army's incredible. We'll look at it in a minute. It's super worth talking about. But right now, we go to our infield reporter because we're going to look at the nominations for Best Painted here at Capital City Bloodbath. Over to Val right now.
Hello, everybody. It's Val Heffelfinger back in your face again. Dumb glasses are on. It's time for an interview. I got Donnie here. How you doing, Donnie?
Pretty good.
Good answer. It's late in the day. Now, if you thought I was out of my comfort zone before talking about actual Warhammer, get a load of this. We're going to talk about hobby now. We're going to talk about highly skilled painting. We got the entries for the painting competition just behind Tom. He's going to start painting around any time now. Now, Donnie, I guess you're the head judge.
I guess that would be true. Yes.
Absolutely. So just brass tacks here. Let's lay it all on the table. What are your paint judging qualifications?
So for this event, I came up with a couple rubrics to use. We've got one rubric that's going to cover the armies as a whole, and then another rubric that covers the individual submissions for all of the painters. So in there, we're looking for basic techniques, depending on how many colors you're using, the ability to use those colors, use shading, contrast, that kind of thing. And we move through from basic techniques through more advanced techniques. How much effort was put into basing, and conversion work is another one.
I mean, like as the audience is seeing right now, there's some really fantastic entries here, and I have to say, unlike a lot of painting competitions I've seen, you've been here really working hard on these scores here. Is there anyone that you I mean, you don't have to pick any favorites or anything, but maybe just break down maybe some of the like how you would approach adjudicating a model? You can pick anyone.
Absolutely, yeah. There's a few here. I mean, there's a lot of really talented painters. One of the things that I look for is, first thing I'm going to look for is a bit of a focal point on the model, and go from there. So if somebody has kind of given themselves a bit of a object source lighting, or where they think their lighting's coming from, because I don't know if you can see it in here, the lighting isn't great, so it's a little hard to judge. So we can go with the models. They can't rely on the lighting of the room, so they have to rely on the painter's ability to draw your eye to a focal point on the model, and then from there, I start looking at how well they blended their colors, any kind of edge highlighting, their conversion work, how clean is it, detail, that kind of stuff.
So one thing that I find really interesting when I'm sort of watching hobby vids on YouTube is actually how different I don't know, genres of miniature painting approach things, like how, for example, like scale model builders kind of just, as you were mentioning about lighting there, they paint it just a flat color, and really the highlighting comes from the weathering of the model.
Yeah.
So why do you think that there's so much more light placed onto the paint job of the model from the painting techniques for like our type of miniature painting?
Mainly because you want to draw, you have to draw the viewer's eye. And like I said, depending on your venue or where you're at, you may not have beautiful lighting. When people take pictures, they're going to up their lighting. And in here, you get what you get. So the technique has to be in the painting so that I know where to look, and it gives me something to judge.
Absolutely. So shall we judge a model? Could we judge a model?
We could definitely try.
All right. So that this way you don't feel like you're biased. I'll pick one. Okay. I'm going to have this relayed to me. Chat, which model are we going to judge right now live? Rob, relay that to me. Chat, what are we judging? Okay, that's right. That was a bad idea. It was a bad idea. I'm just going to pick a guy. Let's go with the action figure, because that's a bold choice, I say.
It is, absolutely. So one of the categories we have is kind of the other category. It's the catch-all. So the action figure falls into that part. And if you give me a second, I'll grab my rubric and we'll talk about what's on it.
Right on.
Just while everyone is in the chat, thanks for tuning in. This is round 4. We do have 2 really exciting games.
Right. So the first thing I'm looking for, really it's the first meat of the points, is basic painting. So, does the model have at least 3 colors? It's always been a bit of a base for a lot of the gaming tournaments and painting competitions. So does it have at least 3 colors? Perfect, that gets you 10 points. Easy, right? Now, are there more than 3 colors on at least 80% of the model? Going forward from there, you're looking at another 5 points if you can at least accomplish that. The next up is basic techniques. So up to 5 points. Is it a uniform color scheme? Is there are the base coats applied cleanly, or do you see a bunch of brush strokes? Did it go on really thick, or was it airbrushed? That kind of thing. Eyes, buckles, those will give you extra points. And then once we get outside of the basic, we start looking at advanced and expert. So then I can go back in and look at those buckles and those eyes and see, now, instead of just putting a black dot for an eye, did you add a light point to that eye?
So I think actually, so if we're looking for more advanced techniques, this avatar over here looks like it's demonstrating a couple different things going on.
Absolutely. Actual
Actual light added to the model.
Yeah, absolutely. So that is a beautiful touch. The painter, one of those small little, which flickers, gives you that fire effect. You can see he's got some beautiful blending from his oranges and reds up to his yellows. Lots of detail in the bases, and that's one of the key spots to get those extra points. If you are going to put in the extra effort, put it into some of your basing, some of your conversion work. So some of these guys are stealing some points there.
So you guys, what are the categories that we're looking at?
So we're looking at character models, small monster or vehicle, large monster or vehicle, and then we've got units and kind of that other catch-all category.
So I'd love to actually come over here, have a look at this. What would that be? A Bane something? I don't know. It's a big tank. Looks like it's being run by a Necromunda ganger, but there's some cool stuff going on here.
Oh, absolutely. So I think that's I think the that guy paid some homage to Tank Girl right there. Yeah. You know, so beautiful conversions. Some of the detail on there. Some of it's decals, and others are hand painted. And honestly, some of it's pretty hard to tell which is which. So, and then the weathering, the rust, the mud. It's beautifully executed.
And we know that the newest version of Necromunda is Mad Max, so maybe you can even use that model now.
Oh, absolutely.
All right. Well, I think anything else you want to call out before we wrap it up here?
I don't think so.
Okay. Well, Donnie, thank you so much for your time and enlightening me about hobby judgment. Gonna love to see who actually comes out on top here.
Absolutely.
All right. Back over to you guys talking about the Warhammer.
Thank you very, very, very much. Exciting to see such incredible armies here at Capital Bloodbath, but unsurprising that not only is the gaming here excellent, but also the sportsmanship, and also there's painting, and also the food.
And also, there's a lot of pretty people.
Yes,
it's like such a pretty set of people. So we've got our table one here.
Game. Oh boy.
Eric Marcoux and Zach Como. Eric did manage to get to roll to go first, and he was super unhappy. One thing, if you've ever met Eric Marcoux, he has the brightest smile, but internally there's only rage.
Yes, yes.
Nothing ever goes his way.
I have noticed this.
But
yeah, he is
so
livid.
Eric did not want to go first in this matchup because
or be here weirdly.
No. Because of the way Zach was able to position the terrain, it was very hard for Eric to get any bead on anything other than the Bane Hammer.
I mean, those city blocks are loaded.
Yes.
With things.
A lot of a guard. I think they're actually bad guard. They're not very nice guys.
These are the Chaos Guard.
But they're not. They're Cadians somehow.
So they're
weird.
Imperials, but also weirdly not. So there's a Bane blade in here.
Yeah, so we got this Bane Hammer.
Oh, Bane Hammer, sorry. There's a Bane Hammer, and it is amazing. We're going to get some I'm going to zoom in on it.
If we could. It looks like it only took about 2 or 3 wounds from Eric's shooting. Eric was really hoping to get to go second because he had really good hiding spots all around the board with this Raven list he's running. But now he's out in the open with them squads, and if this Bane Hammer rolls well enough, he's going to be in a lot of trouble. So for anybody at home that doesn't know what a Bane Hammer is, first off, it's a big effing tank.
It is. It's all the way.
Big.
It's so big, chunky.
And, it's got all the chonk. The big things to know about it: it can hold up to 25 men, which shockingly Zach has 2 large squads of conscripts that could easily fit in it, one or the other.
Oh boy!
Up to 25 people, and 10 can shoot every turn. Its main cannon is 3d6 shots that are strength 8, AP 2, 3 damage flat.
So that's this cannon right here.
And if it hits anything, that model has its movement halved and cannot advance.
Oh boy.
House Raven's big shtick is that it can advance and shoot with no penalty with all of its guns. All of its guns become assault, etc., etc. So he's negating like a big part of Eric's strategy here on one of his units every time he shoots.
Yeah.
So, the good thing for Eric is that guard often only hit on 4s, and it's a random shot model. So if he rolls only 5 or 6 shots, Eric's going to be plenty happy. If he rolls 17 or 18, Eric's going to be a little sad.
I like everyone in the chat. Papa Perry in the chat, that Bane Hammer wrecked me last week.
Oh, yeah.
David Key saying, and I agree with him, he could have put a couple of purity seals on it.
Just a couple more at least.
A couple more at least.
It feels like it was a little half-assed here.
So can we just run through quickly what are in the armies? You said there was the double unit of conscripts.
Yes.
We've got the Bane Hammer. I saw a bunch of mortars as well.
Yep, so we've got 2 tank commanders. One is Knight Commander Pask.
So they're in that bottom right-hand ruin as we're looking at it.
I believe one is right here, and then the other one is in the ruin.
Yes.
We also have 43 conscripts, a unit of 20 and a unit of 23, that Zach has spent 1 CP on to become White Shields, so they don't have the penalty to receiving orders. He's got 2 infantry squads with mortars and like the full loadout, since now you can upgrade infantry squads for free. And and one squad. And one squad of Tempestus Scions with plasma pistol and not much else. He's got an Astropath. He's got 2 command squads, 2 platoon commanders, one of which is his warlord with old grudges, which is going to give him some fancy rerolls and laurels of command, so he can start tossing out orders to multiple units at once. He's got 3 word vein psychers with a psychic barrier. This is backup for his Astropath, not his Astropath, but one of his primary psycher that also has psychic barrier. He's got an armored sentinel and 3 heavy weapon squads with 3 mortars in each. So this list is really, it's about flooding the board, getting those guard secondaries that are actually relatively easy to score down.
So this is the thing I've been hearing all about. Chris, again, captain for Team Canada, was telling me earlier. So if we just take a moment to look at those secondaries, he's got boots on the ground, inflexible command, and bring it down. So bring it down, obviously, we all know what that does, but boots on the ground and inflexible command.
So boots on the ground, at the end of every turn, he's going to score 1 victory point for every table quarter that he has 1 infantry unit wholly within.
Wow.
And so it's a slightly better engage on all fronts. He also scores a victory point if 1 or more units from his army with the standard is wholly within 6 inches of the center of the battlefield.
Oh boy!
And he does have, I think, 4 standards in this list. So it's something that he's planning on maxing as quickly as possible. Yield no ground. This one is, as long as he controls. I'm looking at Eric. I got confused.
Yeah.
Inflexible command. Well, bring it down, we already know, is just he's going to try to kill those knights.
Yep.
Inflexible command, this is one involving his officers. So what he needs to do is keep his units nearby his officers, and he's going to score points. So he scores 2 victory points if every infantry unit from his army is within 6 inches of an officer. He scores 1 if every vehicle is within 12 inches of an officer. And he scores another 1 if an enemy unit is killed while being affected by any kind of order or tank order. So by maxing out all his orders, by having all these officers on the field, using Laurels as a command, using PASC, it's something that's relatively easy for him to do, to just make it so that literally every unit on the board has an order every turn. So anything he kills is getting him victory points.
Amazing, especially as he's obviously going to be able to put those on the tanks as well.
Yes.
Like, that's pretty pivotal. And this is up into Eric's army. So Eric's got himself a bunch of armigers, I'm pretty certain.
Yeah, so he's running 7 armigers and 2 big boy knights. One of the big boys is an errant, so he's good in close combat, but he does have a decent gun to fire downfield. He has a crusader, which is what he's going to really hope can put some damage on that Banehammer and keep it from keeping his errant way in the back. And he's got a number of buffs for these Helverins to make it so that they can put a dent into anything that's going to peek its head out. Unfortunately for Eric, he really wanted this turn 2, so he wanted to go second, so he had a good turn 1. He needed to clear off some stuff, and he needed it out in the open to do so. By going first, he's kind of put himself in a position where this Banehammer can do some work, and so can PASC and this other Demolisher. So he's got his butt clenched for sure, but he's laughing. He's telling Dickie here all about his life and everything he's ever done since he was born. Yeah. Let's cut to the other table. I'm really curious because they've been moving.
We can't go without a prediction, Falcon. I'm going to need one. I'm sorry, chat. I want you to know. This is going to be important. The Knights, are they going to move in the midfield and get shot off the board? Are they going to be able to get over into the enemy? Does Knights have an auto blow up command ability?
They do. They definitely do have the ability to auto blow up. The thing about what Eric's problem right now is Zach can slow down whichever knight he wants to and keep it in that backfield.
Of course.
So that errant isn't going to be able to get up in his face, and that's one major sticking point for Eric here. Is he's going to have to slowly trudge up with his close combat knight if he wants to accomplish anything.
Okay. All right. So who you rooting? Not rooting for.
I'm rooting for Guard, and I think they have the full potential to just take this. That Banehammer is a scary thing. Those Demolisher cannons are no joke. And And so, yeah, I really want to see a guard pull it off because a lot of people don't think they've got it in them.
This is interesting. Apparently, this has got some real legs, so I can't wait to see how this game pans out. Okay, I think I have to root for guard. Eric, obviously, he's got my heart.
Yeah.
I know Tom, our cameraman, is rooting for Eric forever. But me personally, I think it would be nice to see the guard do well, and it also sounds pretty unique, utilizing those secondaries. All right, so table 2. So this is our Tau versus our Blood Angels. Sam with his Blood Angels. We talked about this before the break. And so this is the start of Blood Angels' first turn.
I believe this is turn 2.
Oh, turn 2. Okay,
Yeah.
so if we get a quick recap from our table boss of what happened on turn 1.
Yeah, I think that would be great.
Yeah, that would be so good. Thank you so much. So one Sanguinary Guard died, and that was it.
Okay, and
So-
did we see anything lost from the Tau?
Did Tau lose anything? No.
So this has been all about positioning. So
Wow, cagey.
if we can get
Cagey.
the portable camera in the center, I want to see exactly what Tau are hiding out in there.
Oh, there we go. We can see the Tau on the side.
How players in this tourney, Jordan, they drove here. Most of them, some of them walked. If you're asking how many, I believe we're at about 114.
114 players, yeah,
So
absolutely.
we see 3 eliminators in the middle, holding the objective, and then
Well, they're actually holding a mat.
they're holding a mat, yes. And
Yeah.
then we've got the Sanguinary Guard that are now being pushed up. Now that this is potentially go time for Sam here. He wants to take out probably at least one of these crisis squads before they can make the most out of this like 12-inch shooting that he loves to. He's going to want to put into him.
Yes, it's interesting. So he's moving down the bottom of the board, looking to attack the unit of crisis suits that we get at the bottom there.
So there is a unit of crisis suits right here. Now another thing here for Sam is one of Sam. If we look at Sam's secondaries, let's bring up secondaries real quick so
No
I can
problem.
talk about them. So Sam went with 2 of the Blood Angel secondaries, Relentless Assault and Death from Above. Relentless Assault requires Sam to get units in his opponent's deployment zone. If he has more units in his opponent's deployment zone than his opponent has in his deployment zone, then he's going to score 4 victory points per turn.
And that's Relentless Assault.
That's Relentless Assault. The Death from Above, Sam scores 3 victory points for every unit that he kills with a unit that came in from reserve in his army, and an additional point if it happened the turn that they came in.
Oh, okay. So they don't have to do it the turn they came in.
They no longer. I believe it used to be that they had to come in and do the kill.
That's
no longer.
That's tough.
Yeah, so it's
That'd
a
be-
much easier secondary for them to score. And then he's got retrieve Nephilim data, so he can perform actions in the corners here to score extra points.
So he is planting a bomb.
Yes, so the primary we talked about earlier, you can perform an action to plant a bomb in your opponent's deployment zone. And at the end of the game, you score 4 victory points for every bomb that's still up by the time it comes, because his opponent can perform actions to remove them.
Interesting.
So getting this bomb here is kind of just setting Sam up for a couple things. It gives him extra points at the end of the game, but it also kind of gives Jeff something that he might need to deal with, right? He now needs to say, like, do I shove something up here in the face of all these angry vampire boys in order to try and take that down?
See, this is the thing about the Tau army, which I'm do we know what the better representation? Win rate for these guys is at the minute, Tau?
Both Tau and Blood Angels are Tau have a slightly better win rate overall, and they have won a few more tournaments. But Sam is at the vanguard of Blood Angel play. Blood Angel, I believe, are about a 49% win percentage in Nephilim, but they do have a number of tournament wins. They do have a pretty decent T-whip of, I believe, about 5 to 6%.
So is it a classic situation where maybe the whole meta win rate is that there's actually a couple of good lists in there or a couple of good players in there?
Exactly. So we do have a handful of really good Blood Angels players that are kind of carrying the mantle.
So we're just hearing that Sam moved his land speeder out to try and snipe the ethereal.
Can we get a camera on that land speeder? I want to see exactly where it went. Perfect. Yeah. So this is kind of like Sam's one of the reasons why Sam brings this land speeder, because it has such high speed. He can get angles on vehicles, and he can do this where now this ethereal that wasn't very well protected here by Jeff is in a heap of trouble.
Yes, so this land speeder's got enough output to take out the ethereal, you think?
Well, the Melta alone could take him out.
Okay.
So this is something where Sam is not super worried if he loses the speeder. It's a 60-point model, 65 probably with upgrades. But if he takes out the ethereal, that's a big loss for Jeff because that's a force multiplier that he no longer has.
Yeah, it's kind of like planes, right? Like, I've always thought planes are like some of the best sniper units in the game.
Yeah.
Like, but it's more effective. It's smaller, like, you know, and it's gone. So that's in the bottom left-hand corner. So that's nipped over. That's fantastic.
And I mean, it's also getting him relentless assault, I believe, right now, because I don't believe relentless requires infantry. So
that's exciting. Okay, so that's going to be really good for him. Okay.
Yeah.
Really, really solid. Cheaper than planes. Yeah, much cheaper than planes.
Cheap.
Yeah. Like I would say, just saying that I like planes for that role in an army. We saw it earlier, actually, didn't we, with the Wasbomb blaster jets going over and getting a unit that couldn't be charged or dealt with in any other way. All right. So with that said about the win rates, Pete. Tau look like they're always in a tough position for grabbing an objective. Mm-hmm. I very much doubt that they have the output to kill a load of stuff. But I'm always like, what are they actually going to use to push units off objectives?
So this list in particular, because he's got that additional strength on his assault guns, because he's got that ignore cover, he's got a ton of plasma in this list. So it's a lot of AP3 that'll be strength 8. It can be 2 damage that he's going to be popping into the Sanguinary Guard, into the Death Company, etc. What he's doing is he does have the Withering Firepower. He just has to stay out of combat.
Yeah. Okay.
That's the big thing for him. Okay, so we're at the end of the movement phase. He did have a unit of Sanguinary Guard and Deep Strike, and he is going to pop them down.
Oh boy!
Try to make that 8-inch charge out of Deep Strike onto a block to once again score more points on that Death from Above. This is not something you see often from Blood Angel players, like abusing Deep Strike because the 8-inch charge is so unreliable. But
it's 8 with a reroll, though, right? Like 56% chance.
Yeah, it's not a terrible chance, but I mean, 56 is not 100.
Yeah.
But you know, he's given himself a lot of backup by having the secondary squad already in play, ready to do his shenanigans. And he's taken his time. He's got these eliminators out in the open, but they can move, shoot, move. This other squad here, like the amount of extra positioning and extra movement that Sam has with this list is hard to deal with for a lot of players, particularly inexperienced players that haven't seen it in play.
So it really feels like he's got like several scalpels.
Yes.
Yeah.
And then Sam just spent another CP to use upon Wings of Fire to move a unit of Sandguard that were already on the board into position for a possible other charge.
Yeah, he's done really well. Question in the chat, by the way. In a game filled with elite units and much less big bads, are railguns that useful anymore?
So the thing about saying that is that there are some big bads that are currently on display across the board. Nids run a Hive Tyrant that you need to deal with. Even without the Hive Tyrant, Tyranid Warriors in Nid lists, you want to have an answer for as many of them as possible. The Silent King is now in just about every Necron's list.
Silent King's everywhere.
And now that Imperial Knights and Chaos Knights have books that are not bad, you want to be able to play into them. So Tau's kind of moving towards these Hammerheads, which were a decently costed unit to begin with, and didn't see a lot of play early because the book was so broken. Now that the book has kind of been nerfed into a balanced state, I think Hammerheads are 100% worth it in most matchups. This is one where they're not going to get a lot out of them. Like he's got that land speeder, and that's really about it.
Interesting. Yeah, that's very interesting. Okay, we just heard one. Did we just hear the land speeder has shot into?
No, that wasn't the land speeder. That was the eliminators.
Oh, that was the eliminators.
So what Sam has done is he's put a Instigator bolt carbine and las fusils, which are basically thunder hammers for the rest of the eliminators, so he can pick up multi-wound models a little more easily. Because the one thing big Blood Angels lists don't have are high damage range shots. We saw earlier in the day. The Blood Angels player using Eradicators. Sam has in the past had Eradicators in his list. He's taking them out now for more Eliminators and brought back the Land Speeder to kind of make up for that. So now we've got the shots of the Land Speeder into the Ethereal.
Here we go.
Down to 2 wounds
2
left.
wounds already.
And we'll see. I'm wondering.
So when he loses the Ethereal, what does he lose from his army?
Well, he loses a Bubble of Feel No Pain, which is really big. for him because of the way this list is built out. He loses a leadership buff. That Ethereal can also give, I believe, reroll 1s two units.
It's going to do none of those things now because it is out of there.
Now, it is a cheap model. It's only 60 points. It's not like it was like a 400-point model that got sniped. But this is still a really big thing for Sam because it's one more character that he doesn't have to deal with. And if we bring up secondaries again, I believe he took Bring It Down. No, he took Retrieve. Sorry. He was at one point thinking of Assassination, so I just wanted to make sure. But it was Jeff that took Assassinate. Okay, we can go back.
Okay, perfect. All right, okay. Well, that theory fail.
Yeah.
Didn't work.
This is a really great trade for Sam. Like, that speeder wasn't going to do much else because anywhere else it got left out in the open, a Hammerhead was just going to pick it up in 1 or 2 shots.
Well, so let's listen to the players and see how their game's going right now because we're about to go into some very exciting charges, I'm pretty certain.
Yeah.
Oh.
So something else died here.
Lovely. So we're going to charge the Landspeeder Storm back into those guys.
Lovely.
Do you want to Overwatch the Storm?
So is it an aura that turns off Overwatch?
No, you can Overwatch him because I just realized that I want to save my CP for this reroll on the charge if I need it.
Yes.
And
so
he just eats the Overwatch by charging you anyway.
So then I will happily Overwatch him so that you don't block my Overwatch because otherwise I'm not going to get it.
Okay.
So so here we go. So 4 Flamers.
Yeah.
4 Flamers are going to get. Ooh, that's a good one.
It's nice.
14, 20, 24.
Yeah.
So
it's pretty good.
10, 15, 20.
Casual.
Casual.
I think my Storm is dead. Yeah. And
no,
you're strength
24.
5?
24.
24, yeah.
Strength
24.
5. Strength 5.
So 5s.
So he's T6,
T6,
7?
yeah.
T6, cool.
Chinquez.
Fibers.
Don't hurt me too hard.
Sorry, I'm going to hurt you too hard apparently because that's.
How am I feeling?
1, 2, 3, 4.
I think it's okay. I just finished playing Tau 3 times in 1 week last week at WTC. So, I mean, like,
1,
I
2,
understand
3, 4,
the
5,
matchup.
6, 7, 8, 9. 9 saves, please.
9 saves.
9 saves, please.
But it's like, it's never easy just because, like, they always have that potential to have that one turn where they're just like, by the way,
They
I could
just
see half your
delete
army.
everything.
And it's just like, bye-bye. So, 4 up saves only. I take 1, 2, 3.
Sweet. Okay, and
Sweet.
then I have 8 plasmas.
Well.
So I'm going to have to delineate a couple of these because.
I mean, 5 points just saying delineate as he's talking about the
Mark
different
this down,
units.
he has 4
That's
wins
got to be important, right?
Oh, yeah.
Like, big shout out for delineate. I love that.
I think we
5's
need
on
to
the
give
2
him an
green
additional
and
10
6's on
victory
the
points
way.
just for that.
I'm willing if
that a
everyone else is
secondary?
willing.
That's 4 hits.
So just for, in case people weren't aware, this is a Landspeeder Storm that's about to charge. The reason why Jeff chose to Overwatch into it was because the rest of the charges that Sam was about to perform, he wouldn't have gotten an Overwatch on due to that Storm getting into play. So Jeff just chose to Overwatch the one thing he knew he'd be able to get that off on.
That seems sensible. I like that.
Yeah.
Kill what you can.
So 1 CP, take out a 55-point unit that can cause him trouble. Now that Storm probably had 5 scouts in it that'll have to pop out unless Sam decided not to. Had already disembarked them, which is very possible.
I think we saw them disembark in the center maybe, but that could be wrong.
Oh no, you might be right.
Yeah, because I think that's where we saw it whip over. Okay, so we've just seen the Sanguinary Guard go into this unit of Crisis Suits. This is a very different game to the Blood Angels game that we saw previously, right?
Yes.
Very different. Like hugging that terrain, absolutely not giving the opportunity for any output that he doesn't want to happen to him.
Yeah.
And we just heard that from him on the tabletop. He's like, I don't want to be engaged in this. I don't want to be engaged in anything that I can't be engaged at. And if I don't get seen, I feel like I'm in some real trouble.
Yeah. Oh yeah. And I mean that's the thing when you're playing against Tau. Like, do your best to get seen by the least amount of stuff as possible. Many moons ago, I used to play a lot of games against Val Heffelfinger, who loved to run a Stompa into my Blood Angels. And the key to all of the losses he had in that matchup was that he never was able to see a single Sanguinary Guard.
He just was never able to see him.
I also did blind him repeatedly, but that was a whole other thing.
Okay, if we just take a look, see the Sanguinary Guard at the bottom now have just been able to engage there.
And that should be a dead Crisis Squad.
Well, and they're not cheap though, right?
They're not cheap. So it looks like another unit tried to charge and failed. This was probably one of the ones that deep struck.
So this is our deep struck. So that's an 8-inch charge from that Sanguinary Guard unit.
Yep.
I like the setup though. If again, he's spending CP. He should get this now. Like,
nope.
Okay.
CP. That's why you don't bank on that, Rob. I know you love to. I know that's the craziness, the life that you lead.
I don't mind an 8-inch rollable, right? Like, I think that's okay.
I hate them.
Really?
Yeah, I want.
But
I want
his positioning.
I want
is key,
something
right?
average. I want a 6.
Yeah, no, I understand. But his positioning is good, right? Like,
No,
he's
it's
still
great.
inside the building.
And the big thing, like, he's still inside the building. He's going to be sitting on basically a 0+ armor save against just about anything that's going to go into him shooting because of Armor of Contempt, giving him that +1. Sanguinary Guards sit on a 2+ to begin with.
Okay, so they're great.
So they're loving it being in here. He didn't bother trying to charge anything here, which is fine. I believe now with Upon Wings of Fire you can't charge after you move, but we'll have to find out after. We're being told by Nurgle Matthews Space Wolves is 5-0 at Salt Lake City GT. Doesn't surprise me. Salt Lake feels like it's just like the weakest possible meta that I've ever heard of. He just beat Marshall's undefeated Necrons. Okay, well, you know what? Maybe it's not bad.
There's also a Space Wolves list at 0-3 at Capital Bloodbath. so
they even out. That's
the world gives and the world gives and the world takes away.
So I believe we're seeing those crisis suits being absolutely deleted.
Yeah, so we'll leave that combat in the bottom left-hand corner and we'll jump back to table 1 to
Let's see what has happened here.
So turn 1, Eric won the turn to go first. He
didn't want it.
He didn't want it. He pushed some of his knights out, but kept most of his knights, like especially his gallant, kind of safe. I think a little bit. Is errant. Thank you very much.
So it looks like the errant has taken a bit of damage here. We'll get an update from Table Boss once he wanders over as to like how much was able to be stripped off. I don't think it was as much as Zach would have wanted because I do still see basically everything alive for Eric, which is good for Eric because he was some mad earlier. Like there's the rage on his face.
He was not happy about that entire engagement.
You could see all of his teeth. Okay, I lied. Apparently, by those dice mean that he has 1 wound left because Eric counts up like some kind of savage.
Wow. Yes, I like counting up. Counting up is good.
No, Rob.
No. I'm going
and now Dick told Eric what I said. Eric is a violent man. He's looking at me. I am
furious.
Terrified.
Furious. So that's the
1 wound left on the errant. Okay, so that's a lot more damage than I think Eric would have wanted. Still not dead, which is not nothing. And Eric's
and that's why I asked. That's why I asked earlier, like an auto explodes strat. Like I don't hate the idea of just running into that center gap if I get the opportunity to and exploding my my big knight.
The thing with that right now is that Zach has smartly and kindly only put a number of conscripts on that objective, so he doesn't really care what dies there because they're chained. All the way back into this building, if I wouldn't be surprised.
Yes.
So they're living their best life. He's here pounding up secondaries. I hope we're gonna get an updated score though, because I don't believe it's 12-10. That feels weird.
We will get the updated score in a moment.
That feels weird to me, unless Zach forgot how to do secondaries.
It's so honestly, Pete. It's been so interesting watching all of these games and watching like what is effectively corner hammer in a lot of ways.
Yes.
Like these armies are in the middle, and then it always feels like one army does much better because it's in the corner. And then the other army has to be like, time to yeet myself at you. We saw the sisters. I'm not saying it fails because we saw the sisters do it. Yeah. We saw the Blood Angels fail earlier in the day at it. So like it's kind of quite interesting. We saw the Necrons do it. And we thought they were just going to hold, and they pushed beyond it. So like it's always really interesting. What do Knights want to do? Because it feels like they've got the opportunity to have a lot of guns.
Yep.
But it still feels like they have to move forward with very big pieces, right?
They definitely do. Your big Knights are at their best when they're taking advantage of their close combat and their shooting
at the same time.
Yeah, even a Crusader still has strength 8 AP2 shots, AP2 stomps that it's going to want to put into play. Yeah, so we're told the score is updated. I don't believe him for a second because it still says 12-10.
Oh no!
Oh, there we go. 22-14.
Just give the website a small moment.
So we see Eric scoring 8 on primary. That's got to be expected. Honor of the House scoring 2 for Yield No Ground. Only 2 for Boots and Inflexible for Zach. He did play really kind of
cagey. Okay, defensive, strategic.
He played
informative.
Can we get a thesaurus in the chat?
Please,
so
we need another word.
Cagey.
Yes, but I mean, this is how I assume 40k is effectively played. Like, it is this. It's because you have the opportunity. I mean, much better that the game is always cagey because you have the opportunity to defense rather than playing it bowling ball and everything and then it's just some sort of weird gun meta.
I mean, yeah, and I mean, part of the reason why I hate using the word cagey is because I'm not a good player. I do love the Unga and the Bunga.
The yeet.
Yeah, so if I'm running armies, I run creations of bile because I just want to push possessed up real fast and hope you can't kill them, things like that. So seeing people actually play smart, it offends me at my core.
As a Gazgul Thraka player, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm already making mistakes when I've chosen him.
Oh no, Gazgul is a highly competitive unit nowadays.
Really?
Yeah, Rob, I'm just
bad. I'm just bad. Okay, that makes sense.
Little bad.
Yeah. Okay. All right. So looking forward to that. Just so everyone is aware where we are in the game, so I don't want to lose track at any point. We are in the top of turn 2. So this is Eric's top of turn 2 with Zach to have his turn. And as we talked about, and we've just entered the shooting phase. Thanks so much, Table Boss. I really appreciate that. So we're just going into now the shooting phase for the Knights, as you can see, and they've got some pretty good line of sight. I think now we've got the opportunity to start shooting into that Bane Hammer, which is the back right-hand corner. However, don't forget there's still a tank commander and another Lehman Russ available to potentially pop their heads out and start shooting at some stuff. It's going to be interesting. Okay, so they're just apparently cleaning out all the conscripts in the center at the moment.
Yeah, because he needs to do that in order to keep popping up his primary. He wants to start getting those 12s. Being stuck on 8s and then just having another 30 conscripts come running up and step on that objective is no bueno for Eric. Eric what exploded?
We'll find out in a moment. Eric exploded something, but we're not sure what it was. I think it can't be the Bane Hammer. Can't be.
Is it the Bane Hammer?
It's the Bane Hammer. He must have got.
That's the game.
That's the game, guys. That's the, ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. That's Eric.
Eric over here.
We heard a shout.
I needed to go second. Eric over here telling himself, blows up the Bane Hammer.
Eric is very happy. Can we get a face? Eric, give us a thumb up, Eric. Yeah, there he is. He's super happy.
He's so happy.
Wow, the Bane Hammer. He must have drawn a line of sight along that line, and that is everything in that bunker. That is an absolute castle. Yeah, we'll find out what killed him in a moment.
Yeah, still raging internally.
So the 3 knights in the middle.
The 3 baby knights.
Yeah, okay, incredible. Don't forget, so they've got those kind of melter spears, haven't they?
Oh, yeah, so they can have melters. I believe these are ones with assault cannons. I'm getting word.
No, there are some melter
I'm getting
versions.
word that it was the 2 big boys, even the one on lowest bracket, which makes better sense. So 2 big boys and then one of the armigers managed to finally finish it off.
And look at the bunker of stuff that's about to die.
Oh, it's like you're already seeing. We see a bunch of conscripts picked up over here. There's Word Vein Psychers in there that are going to die. I don't think that's Pask. I believe this is just a tank commander. He's going to take a bunch of wounds.
So there you go. That's brutal. That is everything in this this building is taking damage.
Everything in this building.
I think maybe in the other building, a tank commander died. This is massive. Wow.
Oh, no. And
no.
Even Dustin Henshaw's picking up models on the table beside them because so much died.
Yeah, there's a guy 3 tables down who's like, what the hell happened? Yeah. Why is my unit dead now? Yeah. What has happened?
This is absolutely absurd.
But you know
what? Kudos to Zach. If you look at that straight face.
Yeah, he's taking it well. He's calm.
It real well.
His nickname is the Calculator. The man has turned up in yellow Crocs. I think he's unfazable.
He has yellow
lie.
Crocs. By the way, that's not his nickname. He stole that jersey from somebody else.
Oh, did he?
Yeah, because he is a thief with yellow Crocs, which is actually more admirable.
That makes a lot of sense. Yeah, that makes a lot of sense. A yellow Croc thief is like the height of ninja. Because, you would think you would see him from a mile away.
Oh, yeah. No, 100%. The building should take damage, too. Yeah, come on. Let's just do this. Obviously, if he had a couple more purity seals, this would be fine.
The tally from what died here must be significant, let's be honest. It's crazy amounts of output. And look at this thing.
He's taking it well because it has happened. I'm sure it's happened before. If you're running a Bane Hammer, this is just your life sometimes.
This is just a 30-something wound tank with no invulnerable save, right?
Yeah, but he can have it boosted up to a 0+ armor pretty quickly if he needs to. But
what with the Weird Vein Psychic? Can he give him +1 save?
He could give him Psychic Barrier. It has a 2+ to begin with.
Wow.
There's a stratagem to increase its save by 1.
There's ways. It's such an old book.
Yeah.
So old.
There's so many things he can do but you know what? Way to fire sometimes.
Papa Perry says he's taking it well because it's happened before. Like, it's happened a lot.
So, you know,
Say goodbye to the Banehammer.
Okay, so Dickie's just laughing.
Okay, apparently the dice that rolled a 6 that blew up the Banehammer, Eric tried to trade some of his own dice to get that dice as like a trophy. Like he wanted it as a trophy to keep on his mantelpiece and just think about while drinking, I imagine, fortified port and listening to some smooth jazz.
Folks, if you weren't here before 3 years ago, the last time this happened, Eric Marcoux was at the final table.
He was
of the Capital City Bloodbath in a game that ended in about 11 minutes when Jim Vessel absolutely deleted his entire
Eric
army.
deleted himself. He threw his knights right at.
He did. I mean, he was like, I can't win anyway, and then Jim was like, thank you. I guess you can,
Thank you for not trying. Thank you for not trying.
So
at all.
this is a good comeuppance for Eric. I know we're only in day one, but he feels so good.
He's going to be feeling really nice about that.
That's such a big dead pile over there from just those mortal wounds.
Yeah.
Let's cut to the other table and see what's going on.
Yeah, let's go back. Let's go back to the BA versus Tau. You're right. Thank you, Zugdug Gaming.
So our table boss is just wandering over. He'll give us a quick update. Sam up 30-10 so far. We must be moving.
So just let everyone know what did happen. Turn 1, the Tau pushed out a very tiny amount, and then the Blood Angels moved around. And the only thing that died in the first turn was 1 Sanguinary Guard. Yeah. So like nothing really happened. And as you can see, Sam did a really good job of hugging that terrain, and Jeff making sure he just does not get charged by these Blood Angels units. However, he did move a unit of Crisis Suits into the bottom right-hand corner, well, kind of center, center right-hand side, just kind of the right-hand side of that bit of terrain. That eventually got charged by a unit of Sanguinary Guard. They took out that unit, as you can see, but they've been much reduced down to 3. There was another unit of Sanguinary Guard that dropped into the right-hand side building as well. Yeah, right there. So they're there. Oh, he also made the really great play with a little land speeder that moved from the center right to the back, and then was able to take take out kind of the Tau Ethereal. So now we're into the shooting phase for turn 2 for Tau. This is kind of interesting because, again, Sam just hasn't given Jeff any options.
No, so, like, I firmly believe these Sanguinary Guard are no longer for this world. And it's really just going to be how many resources does Jeff have to put in to finish them off. That 1+ armor will help them, but you know there's a lot of plasma in this list for Jeff, so it's not going to be impossible. We also see here, I believe this is another unit of Crisis that have come up to try and clear this objective of the Incursors that are on it. But this, like, Sam still has this center pretty full of big boys, right? I believe this is an Assault Marine squad hanging out here. He's got his Death Company hanging out in the back.
Oh, sorry, we'll just try. I thought we were going to get.
No. Let's cut and get a good angle. See if we can get better angles on where everything is.
Thanks, Tom.
Or
appreciate
the carpet,
you.
Or Sam's biceps.
We got it. Just take your time, Tom.
Let's go back to the biceps.
Let's get. Well, I mean, we can look at the biceps.
Okay, no. Let's. Okay, so the land speeder has been deleted already. The scouts have popped up here. He must have put them, like, look at that. Look at them little scouts just causing trouble. Right here, we have 3 scouts remaining here. That's some really cheeky stuff to get relentless assault points. We've got the 3 Sanguinary Guard hanging out with 2 Crisis guys looking right at them. That commander also has a good bead. In the center, we've got an Assault Marine squad. We've still got the Eradicators. On the other side of the wall, is it another Assault Marine squad, or is that where the Death Company are still hanging out? So we got the Death Company along with his Chapter Master. Okay.
So only one more Sangard.
So the Crisis Suits have brought him down to 1.
Okay.
This is still like anybody's game for sure. Sam got some really good breaks there. It looks like those Crisis have killed 3 of the Incursors up here at that top objective. This is not a concern to Sam. Sam knows that these guys weren't going to last if Jeff decided to put anything into them. The big thing, though, is like all of these resources have easy access to this objective and this objective, so he can do what he wants.
Yeah, like to the Tau, have felt pinned in the corner, but I mean, what are their options? They have to be here. They have to kind of like keep dealing with the midboard until they get the turn, which is kind of interesting because the tempo for this army must be that if they don't deal with everything by turn 3, then they just too far far behind, right?
Yeah, so we're getting asked about secondaries for the game. So Blood Angels taken Relentless Assault, Death from Above, and Retrieve Nephilim data. We should start to see Death from Above points coming out this coming turn for Blood Angels, as he just brought in his units last turn from Deep Strike. And then Jeff Forster has no prisoners, which we're not going to find out till the end of the game, though I believe the max he can get is 13 if Sam reses a squad, reses any models with his Apothecary, and he gets tabled. Assassination, Jeff can only score 10 points. There's only 3 characters for Sam. And Aerospace Targeting Relays, this is an action-based objective where he can score... by the end of the game, he'll score like an increasing amount of points for every table quarter that he's able to perform an action in.
Okay, amazing.
And if he does it with a Fire Warrior unit, it happens immediately, so the Breacher squads. Otherwise, he has to wait till his next command phase for it to go successfully.
Interesting.
So
how do you feel like he's going to unpack that Tower Castle? Is he just not going to? Is he done trading? Do you think, or is he going to go grab the crisis suits to the top left-hand objective, which again gives him the top middle and kind of bottom hand side, kind of center of the board, or is he then going to also push into the front and then try and take out those crisis suits kind of in the bottom left-hand corner as well?
I think for Sam, what's going to be is what kind of damage does this crisis squad do and the hammerheads into the center objective, because we're seeing that's what he's going for now. He's trying to clear out those assault marines. If Sam doesn't have these assault marines come his turn, I feel what he's going to do is move in and kill these crisis suits to just maintain this wall. Because as long as he's spread out here, the Tau player is not getting a ton of his points. Like his aerospace secondary is going to be sticking on 2, maybe 4 points. Sam can feel pretty comfortable with that. You'll probably see another Sandguard squad come out and deal with 1 or 2 of these squads, maybe try to even pick up the commander that's hiding there. But I don't even know if Sam needs to do that. He can feel pretty comfortable penning him in turn after turn. But we'll have to see.
We will have to see. But a man who can't see, because he's got shades so cool he can wear them inside, is Mr. Val Heffelfinger. We're at Capital City Bloodbath 2022, and we've got over 100 players competing to be the best 40k player in Canada, or at least at the Capital City Bloodbath, and he's going to tell us all about it right now.
Val Heffelfinger here yet again, demonstrating what's cooler than cool. The answer, as we know in Canada, ice cold. All right, so we're going to come down this row because we have now been mercifully set up so that the tables are by actual ranking in the tournament. Right behind me immediately, we have Francois Lalonde playing Tyranids against Colton and his Necrons. Francois, it's Colton's just at top of third turn. How's the game going?
It's going well. I mean, Necrons are tricky because they will just score all the points very fast. So I just advanced my entire army and charged them.
I've noticed a theme here that perhaps punching them in the face is a good idea.
Punching them in the face is the way to go. Yes, they can't really take a punch.
Well, we'll see if that plays out. Anyway. We'll see if that, but not from Nids anyway. We're getting a little smack talk here, little Xenos on Xenos crime. That's good. I love to see it. Now over here we got some Team Canada action. We got Jeremy against my man Dustin. Dustin informed me a little while ago that he failed a 3-inch rerollable charge. Twice. So that means he rolled Snake Eyes twice consecutively. That's fantastic. And now, we got Hamza just stalking the table here. This is a rare moment. Hamza, how you doing?
Oh, not too bad, man. Glad to be here. Capital City, best tournament in Canada.
Best tournament in Canada, absolutely. How's the game going for you?
Oh, it's going great. Necrons get way too many points, but we're going to try to stop him. He's got a good positioning on the board, but hopefully we can make some good damage out here. But that's about it.
So you're the second person playing Necrons who's recommended punch them in the face.
That's pretty much like the main goal right here. We'll see if he stands up.
Are you good at taking a punch in the face?
Yeah, I am, and I can give it back.
Good. That's, you know what? Yes. Damn right. This guy's awoken up from his long slumber. He's not just going to take that punch in the face standing down. I'm going to be real curious to see how this all plays out long term. We've got two people here. We'll get a post game here. We're gonna ignore this one. Two of my favorite people there. We got Chris Rice playing Luke Bourdage. Is this Knit on Knit? Knit on Sisters. Oh my goodness, I did this already once today. I'm used to Chris playing Tyranids, but now they're good, so he's not playing them? I don't understand. And then it's pretty much down the row, so I think we're probably getting to the point where I can swing things right back to Rob. He's even wearing his headset. He's paying attention. I'm Val Heffelfinger, and that.
Thanks very much for the update through and around the room. Okay, so jumping to table 1, we've got our Knights run by Eric Marcoux against Zach Kumia. And there has been a real turn of events. First turn won by Eric, so he had to take that first turn. Moved into the midboard, wasn't particularly happy, and then one of his Knights got taken down pretty low in the shooting phase in return from Zach on turn 1. However, in Eric's second turn, he was able to take out the Banehammer, which was located in the top right-hand corner of the board, and in a wealth of different units, exploded. He rolled a 6 and it exploded, and it took out a huge portion of his army. That's put Zach on the back foot, very much so. Lost a lot of firepower there, just from units just getting killed from the mortal wounds.
I mean, and that Banehammer is about 400 points, so he lost a fifth of his army, like the key part of it, and then he lost about another 24 mortal wounds worth of guys from the explosion.
Wow.
So just an absolute murder make here. Eric is comfortably got this. Like, the only way we'd have to see Pask and the Demolisher Cannon go absolutely ape for Zach to come out of this, because like Eric now has this huge chunk of the board that's his. There's just a few conscripts hanging out here, being absolutely stomped by that Knight Errant that's in the middle with 1 wound remaining. So yeah, like this is Eric's game to lose. Like we see 32 to 22, and that separation is only going to grow.
Yeah. So you think that was just a whitewash?
Losing the Banehammer that early and having it explode and kill that much stuff, it really hindered Zach's secondary scoring, which is like the key to making guard work, is like how easy their secondaries are to score. But you know, that's kind of the game you play when you bring a Banehammer. You can go 3-0 real easy, but then sometimes your luck runs out.
Yeah, I mean, I think the chat was saying, I think we've got some Zach fans in the chat.
Oh, yeah.
And a load of people were saying that Zach actually has played this list quite a bit. And more importantly, he's really used to losing the Banehammer.
Yeah.
So I guess if you just plonk your explodey tank in the middle of your entire very soft army continuously, at some point,
yeah,
you run out of chances.
And the other thing is, though, is if you're used to losing it, like you're used to playing it down, maybe he's going to be able to make that comeback. Like I said, like the guard secondaries are not hard to score. He does have the advantage of having all these conscripts still around that he can rush the board with. He does have his platoons still available, his command squads. The game isn't completely over, but Eric's pretty comfortable having dealt that damage that early. You really think Zach would hope that Banehammer survived until turn 3 or 4 at the very least. Losing it basically to the first shooting phase is not what he wanted, the first actual shooting phase.
Yeah, and whatever pops its head now out of that terrain, and as we see, I don't know if that's Pask or the tank commander. I think that's maybe...
I'm going to say that's Pask, but I could be wrong, just based on the design over there. I'd have to go ask.
Because these are heavily modified miniatures. Heavily modified miniatures. A lot of kit bashing done on these. Not enough purity seals.
And Zach is one of the people that has been nominated for best army overall. That's going to be done tomorrow.
That's awesome.
We'll have to see. He's got a beautiful display board as well. Let's cut over to the other game because Sam has moved into full man mode. He's already got a comfortable lead. We're seeing here.
Wow. Yeah. So this is the beginning of turn 3.
Yes. So last turn, Sam did put one of his Sanguinary Guard squads back into Deep Strike with the Pawn Wings of Fire. So they're coming down now in the very center of the board. You see that here, because Sam did say like he needs to start scoring his Death from Above. So he needs those Deep Struck guys down. He also took the unit that had Deep Struck and failed their charge last turn, shoved them in here so he can kill these crisis suits, but he also measured out to this commander. and it's about a 7-inch charge. He feels like it's his to lose, so he's going to give it a go. We were wrong about which land speeder this was. The land speeder that flew over here and killed the ethereal was actually the storm. So it was just the flamer that killed that ethereal on the storm.
That's crazy.
So the storm, and that's why those scouts had been hanging out here, which are now dead. But yeah, this is the legit land speeder, and once again, he's able to fly it up, and he's got that angle on this commander.
It's just so nice to recognize that there's the opportunity to just keep bunny hopping. He must have continuously been just moving into the terrain with some Sanguinary Guard, popping out and being like, I bet I can do this with something else.
Yeah.
Let me go find what else I've got that does exactly the same job. And he's just sacrificing those cheap land speeders for just to scalpel units out of the game.
Yeah.
Wow.
So the land speeder just took a shot at this hammerhead here, did 8 wounds to it with the Melta. That's great for Sam. He's loving that. This unit of Crisis Suits is going to be made the dead unless Sam gets real greedy, which he very well might. Say this 42-16 lead, like I said, Sam's feeling really comfortable. He doesn't even have to do a lot of what he's doing right now. But Blood Angels players, they want to keep that foot on the neck, right? So
yeah, they do. I feel like they have to drive forward. They can't let anyone out, because what they're trying to do with their play is continuously shut down angles and then charge in. You can definitely see. Interesting. We had a conversation about Sisters last game, last round. Sorry. It's very interesting to see how effective those faster infantry combat units are able to do and utilize that terrain to jump out of.
Well, and another thing, someone had mentioned in chat that they believed that those L's were supposed to be moved every time there was a change in deployment.
Yeah. And
we can see it here that they were, in fact, because this was once again a Dawn of War deployment, and the L's have been shifted to be like this, which was huge for Sam, because now his angles, he doesn't, there was no line of fire straight down the middle, right? It's got that block, which is great for him. He can take a turn to have his Sandguard move out of this block in here. He can get his Assault Marines in here. And now he's got these 2 Assault Marines here ready to take on a couple of Stealth Suits. Whether he'll kill them or not is a whole other story, but they have made their charge.
They've made their charge in, so they've achieved the sneaky playthrough. Yeah.
I believe he puts a plasma pistol on them. I'm not sure if he upgrades anything to an eviscerator or anything like that. I'll have to take a quick look at Sam's list again.
So just poking our little heads. Poking our little heads in there. Thanks, Tom. He's done the job for us even better. You can see
he gives it a lightning claw. Yeah, and 2 plasma pistols and a lightning claw. So he's probably still got the lightning claw in there. And that's going to do a little bit of work, possibly kill those stealth suits, which is just another action that Jeff's not going to be able to perform for his secondaries. He's got this other squad now hitting the Crisis Suits here. Yeah, this is real bad for Jeff.
So Jeff's going to lose his Crisis Suits on the top left-hand corner.
He's going to lose the top left. He's probably going to lose his bottom right, but he is going to overwatch at the bottom right by the sounds of things.
This could be fairly telling, though, right?
Yes. This is a desperation play. He needs to kill a couple of these Sandguard if mainly to keep his Cold Star Commander alive more than anything. That's what he's trying to do here, is to limit the amount of dudes that are going to hit him. So that he only loses the Crisis Suits would be my guess, because Sam has seemed to make it pretty clear that he was going to go for the 7-inch charge, and he didn't care the consequences.
he was not, and as you can see up there,
those are the Death Company that have gone into the 2 remaining Crisis Suits up there.
Yeah, of course, and then nothing in the centers, but we still, as you can see, have that big block of Sanguinary Guard in the middle. They're ready to go.
They just came in, and they're super happy to be there.
Yeah, because their wave, they're the 3rd wave. That's what they're going to be. And then you can see at the bottom, we've got our land speeder has again sniped in, and didn't go for the commander. Oh wow!
Oh, he's shooting the speeder. Sorry, in Overwatch.
The speeder
makes sense because the speeder's going to auto charge that. So yeah, so the speeder's dead once again. Sam sacrificing a speeder to Overwatch.
Second time,
but I mean it works because Tau Overwatch can be a scary thing, and not having to deal with it.
That's very clever.
Is beauty.
Let's take a moment to listen to how the players are doing on the table, and I hope you guys enjoy the player audio.
Burst cannon?
1 damage each. Yes.
So he's down to 4.
Yep. And then
last ones.
The other ones that require a 4 to hit.
Yes.
Will be another 5, please.
Sweet. So here's a 4 again. 3 up. So I take another 2.
Yep.
And the last guy, so he's down to 1.
Okay.
He's taking 5.
Love it.
He's down to 1. I can't fail my charge.
Yep.
I rolled a 13. Sweet.
Sweet. Yep.
Don't need 13, but we'll take 13.
Bonk.
Tag both of them from vertical coherency.
Roger that. Yep.
Then the green squad's going to charge both. So we said I needed a 5. So I get a 5.
Yep.
Cool. Within 7.
No, I think that's not quite far enough for the. I don't think a 6 is far enough for the. No, you're within 7. No,
what do
you're
I
right.
need? Yeah, up to you.
No, you're within 7. So if you did roll a 6,
I rolled a 5.
you rolled a
'Cause I
5,
get
which
plus
goes
1.
up to a 6.
Yeah.
You need a 7.
7 on the dice.
You need a 6 on the dice. You need a 7 to 7 inches.
Gotcha. So I'll set my CP here.
Yes.
I'll try and go for it. So
That'll
9,
do
10.
it. There you go.
All right.
Perfect. That will do it just fine.
So a 10. Then all the way over here.
Sure.
And there's no
Required a reroll for the, as we heard from the player audio, required a reroll to get that into the commander in that bottom bit, but he was able to do so. And is that his death company or his sanguinary
No,
guard?
that's his sanguinary guard that
Oh,
he
boy.
deep struck last turn and failed their charge. Yeah, he needed a 7 to get into the commander, which is really what he wanted. So he decided to go a little greedy instead of going for the 4 on the crisis suits. And this is a very good doom for Jeffrey here. He's not going to have he doesn't have a good shot. Does not have a good shot here at dealing with anything. These sanguinary guard are going to pick up that commander unless he goes absolutely bananas on his invuln saves. He does have a 4-up invuln that might
save
get
him.
around this.
Might save him. Okay, well, while we wait to see something that wasn't saved on table 1, Eric's lost his first big night. So his errant that was at the top of the board, which previously was taken down pretty low on wounds, has finally gone down to Zach's slapback. So don't forget, Zach losing that big Banehammer turn 2. This is Zach's turn 2. Eric's turn 2, he took out the Banehammer, which exploded in his kind of central castle. And now you can see, thanks Owen, big love to you too. You can see he's lost the big knight at the top. So Eric's had to kind of, and is going to get pushed back a little bit, I think, here, because I don't necessarily know if he's got like the stompy output to deal with the plethora of units. Me and Pete think that this is a really tough match now for Zach, but when you have so many units and you've got and those units are used to score those secondary objective points, anything could happen really.
It's very much still a game that Zach can come back from. The explosion was what really hurt him. If that Banehammer hadn't exploded, and he didn't lose that 20-some-odd extra wounds of guys, I think this game he would still feel not too terrible about what was happening. Because trading a Banehammer for an Imperial Knight, it's not that bad of a trade-off. It's only about a 100-point difference in the side of things, but losing that and then losing all those extra wounds from it was the killer. That said, Eric's down one big boy. He's taken quite a few wounds on one of his armigers. I mean, I'm not going to call it game for Eric yet, but it's Zach has an uphill battle.
He does, and he's going to have to keep trying to score. The primary is where I think is the issue. Yeah, chat, do you disagree? I know we got some Zach fans in the chat.
I think it's the secondary. Mainly because Eric has a real easy way to get honor the house every turn now, because he doesn't have to worry about being slowed down by that Banehammer. Really, he just has to worry about Pask and the other tank commander. So if he can get a line of sight into either of them and deal with it, then
where is Pask? I'm trying to find. Oh, I can see him. Hold on, if we just go to the side shot on the PTZ,
right
you can
here.
see him. Yeah, he's just in that left-hand corner. So just peeking his little head around to get the shots off. So being incredibly conscientious and conservative with his line of sights. Pete, I avoided the word there.
You did, you did a good job.
Thank you so much. So
now,
he has.
Sorry, go ahead.
He just hasn't given himself much opportunity. He's just sneaking around to get those shots off, right? That's all he's doing.
Now, we did hear at the other table that the Cold Star commander did live. Sam decided to split his attacks to try and wipe out both the crisis suits and the
greedy.
commander. And the commander lived on 1 wound. The crisis suits were deleted. And another guy that counts up his wounds. maniac. I don't think I like Jeff anymore.
Jeff, don't do it. Being dead on one wound, though, we saw being pivotal in the previous game. Do you think this is going to give him an opportunity? I mean, he still looks very hemmed into that bottom left-hand corner. Because whatever he does in this turn, he has to deal with the Sanguinary Guard in the bottom left-hand corner. And then the Sanguinary Guard in the middle are going to charge in and do the same thing again.
Yes, and this Death Company unit did exactly what we expected. So not only does he have to deal with that, like these Death Company are going to come down. These Sanguinary Guard can come in. He still has this big blob with Sanguinary Guard. He doesn't really have an answer to back here any longer. No, I really don't see Jeff coming back from this. He is now cornered. He's alone. He's like a coyote that moved a little bit too far into the city. People are kicking it. He's just kind of standing in the middle of the highway. You can stop me at any time, Rob, if you want to cut in.
No.
Metaphor is going.
No, I love the metaphor. Keep going with the metaphor.
Far.
Go deeper.
Rob,
go bigger. I think these games are moving on at a very interesting pace. I can't wait to find out how everyone else feels though about these. They're 4 hours. Maybe the TOs. They're 4 rounds today. Maybe the TOs will be like, interesting, 4 rounds. Might have some updates for us. Who knows? Could be anything.
I think what we're trying to do is hint at our friend Val Heffelfinger that he could walk into the field and get us some table updates.
Literally anything.
From literally anyone.
It would be.
We're gonna call him out. He looks the saddest.
He seems to be happy about it. He gave us a thumb up and excited.
And then he kind of waved his hand at us. He was really into the coyote joke.
Yeah. Yeah, I will always go deeper. I hope everyone's enjoyed the coverage today. Falcon has done an incredible job, as everyone knows. I'm not as au fait with 40k as I should be, but I think you've done an incredible job, so thank you.
And thank you to all the people that delivered us food, mainly Seth and Andréane. It was beautiful, the things that we received. And, to all of you that didn't deliver us food when we asked, you're garbage. Please don't tune in tomorrow unless you are going to send us food.
We don't want you to tune in. That's super important. Please don't. Right, okay, so this is Blood Angels. So just before we do get any infield updates, we have Blood Angels in the combat phase, fighting into these different units here. And then we have the Astra Militarum have had their shooting phase. I very much doubt there's going to be. Oh no, they're still going to be in their shooting phase. He's got a million.
He's got a million mortars that can still go. He's going to try to pluck wounds off everything he can.
Oh, did we just see another Armiger go?
Looks like the Armiger picked up those conscripts that had been holding the middle objective.
They did. Okay, so we might be in the combat phase now. We'll take a moment to listen to the players, see how they're doing.
So you get a 12. I'll get 2 for boots again.
Okay.
I killed something while under the effect of an order. I'll get 4 on flexible.
4 on flexible, okay.
And
you get 3 on bring.
And I get 3 on bring.
That's it.
That's all.
So on my turn, I get 12 points on primary.
Yeah.
Wow, Eric's immediately 12 points on primary. This is me. This is me hitting good points. Okay, so we're going to jump over now to our man in the field, Mr. Val Heffelfinger, who's going to be letting us know what's happening at the rest of the event. Over to him and Tom. Thanks very much.
Okay. Val Heffelfinger out here in the field. Went a little deeper into the field. Also, for the record, Tom, meant to say this to you before, apparently some focus issues on the last walk around. Gonna have to clean that up.
How do I want to do it?
I mean, I need people to know what they're looking at here. And what they're looking at, it's the lone wolf
ability.
Connor is here. He's playing the Grey Knights. I feel like every single matchup that Connor has played has been thematic and beautiful. The Space Wolves with their old pals, the Grey Knights.
+1 ballistic skill because they're the only one who can get it. You killed my Master of Bucks. I can't get CP back
going on here.
So that is what it is. Do I want to have one of my knights acting full profile?
The have, killed each other.
So here, what's down there? Sure. So Pask is. I could charge Pask.
No, that's 100% the case. I'm pretty sure they hate each other.
If I'm kind of hugging the wall.
Tremendously sarcastic. More models on the table this deep in the game. I'm happy to see it. Very high. Round 3 was a very high point loss for Connor. I think he might have some magic coming against these psychic warriors that he's run into in the warp. Let's have a little survey around here. We've got someone wearing a Santa hat. I love to see a good festive Warhammer army personally. Let's maybe see. Although he's mid-roll. He's mid-roll. He's checking his list. He's marking it twice. I think this guy's naughty and nice. There he is, little wave. He's got his reference there. He actually legitimately has a large book. That's not rules, folks. Those are the names of all the naughty children. Actually, it's just Rob Symes written 1,000 times. We've got a pretty nice matchup going on over here. Brenton, who was on stream. Josh Curtis, not on stream. Josh, how's it going over here?
We are very drunk and we're having a ton of fun.
Very drunk, having tons of fun at a Warhammer tournament? Get out of here. What's happening down on these tables?
We're loving life. We called it right at the beginning of the tournament that we were going to fight each other, and we're fighting each other. So we're having so much fun.
Oh, that's cool. I was told that was going to be in the parking lot, but maybe this is the undercard.
I don't think that would be a good fight.
There's a slight reach advantage here.
Josh would probably kick me in the under areas.
In case anyone tuning in couldn't tell, Josh would use basically anything at hand to win that fight. He clearly would
never happen, though.
All sorts of skullduggery. Brothers. I love this guy. This guy's basically, I love Warhammer. This is gargantuan scream his dad.
Oh yeah, he died real fast.
He's super fucking dead.
We've been playing Warhammer together for years, so it's amazing.
At this point, we're all old Hammer. Thanks for reminding me that. That's why I wear the glasses. It makes me feel youthful.
True, you can't see that crow's.
Yeah, you can't see. Well, old Val and Botox, you know what I mean? You always want to know someone who knows someone who can put botulism in your face. Now, I'm walking by this. Rob would just walk up to tables and talk to them. How's this game going?
Pretty good for orcs. Not so great for me, but yeah.
Well, I like the Rock Idol. That's good. Idol of Gork. Curse of the Heffelfinger. He's like a purple sun. Just drifting through the ranks. Yeah, we're over here in AOS land. It's same but different. I think Rob is saying, although I abused you on the air and implied that you weren't doing anything and that you should get out there and talk to more people, I think he suggested that maybe he would like to have it back. So I'm going to say, Tom, thanks for walking backwards. And Rob, Pete,
Thank you so much to our infield reporter. I very much appreciate this. Okay, so back to our game on table number 1. We've got Eric with his Imperial Knights, and he is up against Zach, but Zach is in some real trouble now. If we take a look at the scorecard, because I know this is, I'm pretty certain this is up to date.
I believe we haven't seen Eric's primary come in, which was an additional 12, so it's 44-22 right now for Eric. Yeah, like Zach's definitely in the back foot. Eric's pretty confident now that this is just a battle point situation. How many battle points can I get? Because, guys, so one thing about how battle points actually don't matter a whole lot in this tournament. They've decided to use win path as the way to do pairings and tiebreakers, as well as random. Although they will be removing random for day 2. The final 2 rounds will no longer be randomized. So it'll be win path, then battle points in terms of tiebreakers to determine who plays who. So battle points do have some import here to Eric, and he's going to look to score as many as he can.
But you think it's just all over in this particular game for Zach?
Like we've talked that there might have been a chance, but Zach's pretty hemmed in. He doesn't have a lot of firepower that can deal with all of these Helverins and this basically untouched big boy that's hanging out, launching long
this
bombs
Crusader
downfield.
is just firing shots all day long, isn't he, across the board? And I think if we just take an opportunity, though, he does still have two Lehman Russes available to him. So the bottom left-hand corner, as you can see, we've got ourselves a cheeky Pask, and then the far right-hand side. He's got all those mortars as well. So he's just got lots of shots, indirect fire that just keeps coming in and will keep coming in. But I very much doubt that that's the output that he needs.
No.
At some point, he has to poke his head out for the tanks. And when they do, R.I.P.
R.I.P. Zugdog Gaming, how much did Sam kill? If we go over to table 2, you will see that it was just about everything. The big thing here that we missed when we cut away, when it moved to Jeff's turn, the first thing he did was chose to fall back with that commander that survived.
Oh yeah, that was huge. He the second when he got charged in, they took him down to 1 wound. He must have been super pleased.
Yeah, and then chose to fall back. Sam Procopio, being the legend that he is, says, "Hey, there's a stratagem I can use to possibly do a mortal wound to that guy when he falls back." And Jeff says, "Do it." And then Sam said, "Okay, I do." And using Cut Them Down, he killed that commander to, add insult to injury.
Nightmare sauce.
So we've got Jeff now hanging out. It looks like through shooting with what he has remaining down here, he has picked apart that Sanguinary Guard squad down to 1 lone man hanging out. And now there's none. But there's a lot of resources still hanging out here for Sam. It looks like Jeff has 1 crisis suit hanging out on this objective, and that may be his other commander. And
at the top, we have a unit at the top, right? Don't we? That arrive via deep strike in the top center.
Oh yes, so this would have come in from reserves. It's 10 breachers, and I believe he's got another 10 down here. So this is going to help him score his aerial targeting by having them up here. But I don't think it's going to matter much to the end. There's 5 Death Company standing on this objective. He still has these 7 Sanguinary Guard he can pull out. He's just got
a lot of resources, yeah.
And he's so far ahead now that Jeff has like too deep a hole to dig himself out of.
Yeah, I agree.
I mean, he is going to probably pick up these Assault Marines, or he's got 1 left. But yeah, this is really Sam's game to lose. He's going to have like the most egregious stroke in order for anything bad to happen to him here.
Well, talking about a stroke, a man who's so pretty gives me a stroke. Mr. Val Heffelfinger from out there in the field, who's going to be talking to some of the players here at Capital Bloodbath 2022.
Giving him a stroke, or is he having a stroke? We'll leave that for you to decide. We're here with Francois. Francois, before you took the bold move of saying that you were just going to punch the Necrons in the face. In fact, did that happen?
Oh yes. I punched them very hard in the face, and I scored 100 points.
100 points? You turn it on the Necrons, because the Necrons, it's very in vogue these days for Necrons to score everything.
Yeah, and going second into Necrons, I was a little scared because he scores like 30 points turn 1, and you go, uh-oh, I have a problem. But, you advance and charge and get your turn 1 charge off, and from there you just keep punching them in the face until they die.
I mean, that's the type of Warhammer that I like to hear about. How's the rest of the event been going for you?
Oh, it's amazing. I love this event. It's my favorite tournament. It's really, really super cool. Carpet's amazing. The opponents have all been fantastic. I played 4 great opponents today. Really fun games. I'm in heaven right now.
That's great. Well, people in Ottawa love a well-laid carpet. Now, I know you are the recently installed podcast host of Canhammer. You're also in the podcast sphere. Do you have any tips for running a podcast?
I'm probably not the one to ask, because my podcast is really just an excuse for me to hang out with my buddies every 2 weeks and talk about Warhammer for an hour. And for some reason, people want to listen.
So Francois doesn't realize that that's what all podcasts are, essentially. So we're gonna let that one slide. But that's cool. I'm glad you're doing well. Keep up the roll, because then it's content, baby.
Yeah, maybe. We're definitely gonna do a recap on the podcast. It's super fun. Tomorrow's gonna get real hard though.
That's right. 2 more games to glory. I'm looking around. There was supposed to be a Darren. There's a judge. There's people with a laser pointer. Shit's getting real over here, guys. Wow. Okay. Okay. Let me just get a little play-by-play going on here. Moving around. No, yeah, when the laser pointer comes out and Chris Haynes is leaning over your table, something's up. Why don't we just go a little bit more down here? Maybe, look at who it is. It's Darren. Darren, head judge and organizer of the Capital City Bloodbath. Am I supposed to keep going, or should we do this right now? Yeah, thumbs up. All right. Darren, how's your day going?
Good. The game kind of runs itself these days. You just press a button on the app, and it kind of does its thing.
So again, 2 in a row now. You're not supposed to say that Big TO is kind of just chilling. All the work is before today.
Oh, yeah. Actually getting today to happen is a lot of work. But luckily, it's not too much work on the day.
It's a lot like a wedding.
Yeah, a little bit less expensive.
Okay, all right. Where was your wedding held?
Oh, yeah, a little bit less expensive than my wedding.
All right, so behind us we've got Cooch Canada and Dustin Henshaw dusting it up. There's a little dust up with Dusty. How you feel about that? I know you might be, it might be a people's champion for you back there, just trying to grind out a W.
Yeah, I'm rooting for Dustin because it was really unlikely he was going to make it this weekend. He didn't get to go to WTC, so if he comes here and he can make it to the end, that'd be really cool.
I guess it'd be pretty cool. I mean, yeah, it'd be all right. That'd be all right with me. All right, if we kept going down a little bit, are we able to do this without losing focus? Who cares? The blurry blob on the screen is me. Just follow my voice, chat. Here we go. We're walking backwards. We're walking backwards. Actually, I'm not going to update anything. Nope, not going to update anything. I'm going to throw this right back to Rob, and I'll have something better lined up next.
Thank you so much, Val. Just lovely to talk to Darren. Most people won't know this, but Darren actually once reset my heart in a hospital. But it was actually his fault for knocking it out, being in the first place with his gorgeous face. So shout out to him. Okay, so welcome back. Sam, we got Pete's actually off right now. Find out some hot info, because we just heard that Sam lost all of his Death Company. He rolled 5 ones. 1 crisis suit took out the entire Death Company unit in one horrific little turn of events, which is pretty exciting. So that may have changed the shape of this battle, which before this we thought was a foregone conclusion. And I think that's one of the interesting things about 40K, is that almost anything can happen. Sam currently 66 to 20 points, 46 points up, scored big on his primary there, and he's about to launch a whole bunch of other units into the enemy. His Sanguinary Guard that were trapped in the middle are moving out. He's lined up his unit of Intercessors at the back, and now Pete's going to give you all the information. Pete, what happened?
Well, while we were away, we saw Jeff do a little cheeky thing, and he got his commander up here, as we'd seen.
The commander left on not the commander left on 1 wound. A different.
No, this is his other commander. And between his plasma and his, I believe, burst cannon shots, he wiped the entire Death Company squad that was on this objective down to 1 guy on 1 wound, and that seemed to spark something in Sam. And now Sam has gone full-on man mode. Literally every movement he has made has been with precision. He's still talking through in a very happy way with Jeff, and Jeff's just laughing because he's realized the mistake he has made.
Okay.
There's just that moment when you're talking to an actual vicious predator, and they just kind of smile and wink, and you go, "Oh, I'm just dead now."
Oh, I'm losing, and you're smiling.
So what we saw was this 1 remaining Sanguinary Guard has popped out onto this objective, kind of as protection for these incursors. The incursors have now been spread out in such a way that the breacher squad at the bottom of the table that you can kind of see right down here, there's no way for them to get on this objective unless they wipe out the squad. It's just not physically possible.
Not going to do.
He's poked these guys up here to take shots at pot shots at this breacher squad. The 1 lone Death Company guy has run away so that he can hop on objectives if these eliminators don't do what he wants them to do. This Chapter Master is hanging out here in case, so he has 2 charge options on either the commander or on the breachers, depending on where Jeff decides to pull models from. He's really not giving him any options here. And the other thing he did was he ran this 1 remaining Assault Marine Sergeant over here with an Inferno Pistol, and just popped 8 wounds onto the Hammerhead with it.
Oh boy!
Just an Assault Marine Sergeant.
Just an Assault Marine Sergeant.
Takes 1 shot and is just like, how about you delete the 8 wounds?
How about there's 8 wounds to you? That's awful. Okay.
I believe he had taken 3 wounds from an eliminator, so it was probably 5. But still, pretty egregious stuff now.
That's incredible. That's really incredible.
Sam just sitting here like, you killed 4 of my dudes. I don't like that anymore. I guess we're going to play a different game.
I guess now I'm going to murder all of your guys.
You're all the dead. So we also saw the 2 remaining incursors on this squad run onto this side of the wall so that he could charge the commander and not take Overwatch, just so that the Sanguinary Guard can come in and do the delete.
Yeah, so if we just take a look at the score there, as you can see, a dominant 46-point change there, and I don't think we're going to see that change at all.
No, I mean, Jeff still has no prisoners to score, but it's not going to be great. He had to re-roll that charge with the Sanguinary Guard, but he's in, and it was a big charge, so he gets to fully surround him without having to do anything else.
That's going to lock in the commander and also the last crisis suit that's up there.
No, there's no crisis suit.
Oh,
It's
no,
just,
just
the
the
commander. So that
commander.
commander, unless he rolls some big fours, is all of the dead. Yeah, like Jeff is now in a position where he's just going to have this little pity party, and the handful of breachers that aren't going to be able to do what he wants them to do.
Yeah, in the middle and at the top there, yeah. I mean, can the crisis suits not come up and deal with the Sanguinary Guard, or is that not likely? So the unit at the bottom at the top.
So these crisis suits have mostly plasma guns. He's not going to be able to take advantage of a lot of what he wants. He'll still be able to get in range. He'll be able to pluck a few off.
The Tau Army is so interesting.
It's not going to turn this game around.
It's always, it reminds me of KO and Azuma, but like it's always engaging with you, but is never pushing you off anything.
Yeah.
Like it's always there. Like it must be interesting, like to see the games where it wins, because it feels like it's just because they can just see stuff and obliterate everything.
Yeah, and that is definitely something that happens when you see some of these Farside Enclave lists that have started to prop up. Guys like Thomas Ogden, who've been putting out some pretty good numbers with Tau Sept as well. They do play a more aggressive game. These crisis suits do push up right away. They are causing havoc whenever they can. It's a lot more of a disruption build than we're kind of seeing from the two Tau lists we've seen so far.
Which are very defensive kind of castle
Which
builds.
had been mostly defensive. I mean, I think Jeff just got steamrolled here by some really excellent play by Sam. Sam was...
Sam just never gave Jeff the opportunity to kill him.
He applied the pressure where he needed to, right?
Yeah.
This wasn't a game where he was where he put everything in all at once. It was... Here's this one unit that I know exactly what it's capable of doing, and I'm going to do that thing. And I know the over/under on it, and it's played out in his favor.
And shout out to those land speeders; they did excellent work.
Those land speeders just clutch, killing that ethereal, popping 6 wounds on that hammerhead,
which then led to the sergeant then killing the hammerhead the turn after,
letting Sam effectively relentless assault with really no loss to him. 170 points worth of models effectively by the end of the day.
Amazing. Okay, all right, so we're pretty much certain that's all over for the Blood Angels there with the victory. Blood Angels getting that on table 1. Now just looking at Eric versus Zach, 44-32. So the score is fairly close. Those secondaries coming in clutch, but as you can see, surrounded at the moment is those poor Astra Militarum, those Imperial Knights, absolutely smashing them ever since the loss of that Bane Hammer. But they still got those two knights. They've still got the 2 tanks.
They still have the 2 tanks, but Eric hasn't lost anything since he lost the big boy.
Yeah, it's true.
He's still sitting on 7 armor. I mean, 2 of them are pretty weak, but he's still sitting on 7, still sitting pretty. Now he's just picking up whatever models he can see. So we're seeing mortars drop. The judges did have to go over to take a look at a line of sight question. I think it was to see if Zach could pick up one of this guy that is now hiding a little bit better. But
yes, I think they were over there to test to see. Oh no, especially as a roughie.
Mm-hmm.
I think I think it's been a tough match personally for Zach. He's had a tough time, and I think he now knows that he's lost, and he's just constantly getting weathered by bullets.
Yeah.
He's got no way out, right?
I don't see him having a way to push this off. He's still getting great secondaries and flexible commands still coming in strong. He's not getting boots on the ground because he can't leave his deployment zone. Bring it down.
He's looking less and less likely.
He might get up to a 9 on Bring It Down because there are 2 armigers there that are weak enough that if he goes all in, he might pick them up, especially because Eric counts up like an absolute heathen. So like these 2 armigers are definitely on their last legs. His big knight looks like he's only taken about 2 wounds. Like this, we're going to probably see Zach score another 10 to 12 on secondaries, but I don't think he's going to do much else.
I don't think he can do much else either. Let's listen into the players and see how they're feeling about this match. Maybe there's a bit more enthusiasm for the game than we see. Maybe Zach is a lightning on the table, and we're going to hear some really interesting stuff from him.
And he's like, "Oh, I forgot to deep strike the Sanguinary Guard."
Yes.
Okay.
These are the scions that are coming in from the army.
You have a leadership check to take,
this
like
will
those
get him
guardsmen
more
probably
boots on
there.
the ground.
Lost a bunch.
Oh,
Okay, if you want to take it that way, I guess. Like, who wants to do leadership? So I didn't damage anything because everything died, I guess.
Yeah, everything died.
Okay.
Pardon?
Well, it's because you're standing beside the table, so we want to talk to you.
So he's got how many left?
He's got 9 taken, so 4 left.
4 left, then.
I'm getting a CP.
He's not touching that. Man, this is bad. This is bad.
Yeah, you're in a tough spot. I don't think it's impossible to get out of it, but it's definitely not easy.
30 minutes. Shit.
So only 30 minutes left on the round. You can see Eric in good spirits there. Zach knows he's got to push a lot. He's got some scions that he's bringing in, which might help him with boots on the ground. Is that right, Pete?
Yeah, so boots on the ground, having these scions here, it's going to possibly let him, if not max it, give him at least a little bit more ability to put some pressure on Eric. Like you were hearing if you were listening into the players there, Eric thinks Zach has a shot, but it's a real long shot. Like, he's going to have some rolls go his way. He needs to pick up those 2 Helverins that are low. Honestly, he needs to ignore the big boy, in my opinion, and just kill as much little stuff as he can to try and get those bring it down points up. Try and clear out enough space that he can put some more little boys in the middle and try and get that primary score going. Because he's not going to be getting any. It doesn't look good for him scoring any of the special objective here. Although one of those Tempesta Scion units could drop an explosive right now where they are, and that might help him a tiny bit. This is a rough game for Zach. Like I said, not the Banehammer dying wasn't what did it. It was the fact that it exploded.
That was what was tough.
Yeah.
Because he just lost a lot of additional stuff.
Yeah, I mean, there's Sentinels that he lost there that would have been key to this game because those Sentinels would have been the ones that would range up and pop that extra 1 or 2 wounds off of a Helverin, and he wouldn't care if he lost them after it.
That's their job.
That's exactly
their job is to trade cheaply. I mean, which is exactly how the Imperial Guard should play, right?
Yeah.
They trade cheaply. They've got a variety of units.
and just be in a spot for as long as you need them to be, and then when you lose too many to nothing, it's a bad scene.
Yeah, really, really bad.
So
talking about bad scenes, as much as we know it's all over, but on table 2, there's the bad scene. So the Tau have moved out. We've seen that unit of oh goodness me, Crisis Suit in the middle. They've moved in there. And we're in the Tau shooting phase now. The Hammerhead's trying to draw line of sight. I think the Sangreanu Guard at the very top left-hand corner looking to push out, but with a 50-point difference. And as we can see, this is turn 4. There is absolutely no way Jeff can bring these points back.
Yeah, I mean, if this is bottom of turn 4 for Jeff, he's only been scoring 4 on primary. He can make up a difference because Sam is running out of models, but he ran out of them the best way possible by just deleting all of the major threats to his army and all of the speed.
Yeah. There we go. Yeah, so 50 points difference. We've got no prisoners to come in, but there's not 50 points on the board
and if
available.
you go back to the table, that was all of his shooting. He cleared off most of the eliminators. It looks like there's still 1 sitting on the objective there, so that's not something he's super favorable for. These Sanguinary Guard can now just choose to come down and deal with the Crisis Suits. This one lone Sanguinary Guard could even decide to do something. This is not a good place for Jeff to be in, and he knows it. There's still also this 1 Assault Marine living his best life. Sam's characters, I believe, for the most part, are all still alive. This game is over in every sense of the word. It's just a matter of how many more points can Sam eke out of it.
Yeah, and he's going to need that if he wants to try and take out the event, basically.
Yeah, because the big thing about this event is chances are we're going to have 2 undefeated at the end of the game.
2 6-0s.
Yeah.
2 6-0s. And that's why I think, let's just do a Shadow 7th round. Let's do it.
Yeah.
Let's just do it.
Let's just
in
do
the car park.
Let's just do round 5 right now.
Yeah.
Get Darren.
Get Darren. Let's just do round 5.
Round 5 right
Shadow
now.
round right now. He seems happy about that.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's see. Let's do it.
I mean, I'm
ready. I've got the
hungry.
energy. I've got the energy.
All of our fans have sent us so many things via DoorDash.
Thank you, fans. Thank you, everyone in the chat. Appreciate that a lot.
No, thank you. Only the one of you that sent us food.
No, I mean, everyone tried.
I got the Pepto-Bismol, though, and that was real sweet of somebody.
Thank you.
Santiago, big ups for giving me that Pepto-Bismol.
Thanks, Santiago. Right, 49-36 is in Eric's favor in the Imperial Knights. We've still got those 2 tank commanders, Pask and his
brother John.
Yeah, Pisk.
John Pisk.
Just John Pisk.
Please no.
Pisk. Maybe.
Rob, you are not an improv genius. I want to say that out loud.
That's okay. I never thought I was.
I mean, even Tom's looking at you. Like,
I'm trying. It's all you can do.
I think he's leaving your hotel room at the end of the day. I think he's going to go somewhere else.
That's not a problem at all. As you can see, measuring being done with a tape measure, traditional as opposed to a laser pointer, a more modern affair, but not being used now.
I think we're just measuring out demolisher cannons to see what would be in range. For pass to delete.
He's going to try and get those extra points. I think it's in Eric's. I think it's table 2. We have a handshake.
We're getting a handshake. Yeah, Jeff has decided that he
Congratulations,
doesn't have
Jeff.
he can do.
You did a great job there.
Jeff really, you know what? He did his best.
That's what I mean. I think he knew he was in a tough spot.
He was up against a list played by the number 1 player in Canada right now, Sam, who's been playing Blood Angels. Just to tell you guys a little story, probably, at the just before 9th edition launched, I started getting messages from this stranger. I'd never talked to him before in my life.
Yeah.
Named Sam Prosciutto, over on Facebook, because he knew I liked Blood Angels. And we chatted about Blood Angels almost every day.
And you always like a charcuterie board.
I do like a charcuterie board, which I thought was what this was about.
Yeah, of course.
But really, it was just trying to talk up the Blood Angels Codex and what could be done with it. And you know what? I should have listened a little closer because this man, this myth, this legend is absolutely stomping people now, months and months later.
Wow. Okay. Well done to Sam. I like it when people also commit to a faction.
Oh yeah.
That really
makes me happy.
Yeah. I also think that they generally tend to do better. There are very few players who have got that swing ability to jump between factions. Very few.
Yeah. But I mean, for some people, if they stick to it too long, it does make it worse. Like Don Huson.
Of course. Yeah. Don Huson.
Don Huson is I mean,
the
I hope
danger.
He's listening. I hope he's listening.
Yeah.
He's just terrible.
Shout out, Don. Isn't he here?
No, he's not. He's probably in Arizona just stomping some small child at 40K.
Like a 16-man GT.
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah, all unpainted, first time. Oh, I've never played.
But it looks like the end score is going to be 97 for Sam and 93 to 48. 93 to 48. Oh, Zugdug, he's not the worst.
He's not the worst.
And there's a T in that. Come
on.
Don, I love you. You have the best head in 40K. Just physically the best head.
Oh, wow.
It's very round.
Wow. Phrenology, didn't know that was something we're into, but okay, I'm willing to go there.
Yeah.
I think we could, because Tom clearly a Gene Stealer Court player based on the shape of his head.
Yeah.
Our cameraman.
I think if we got a plunger and we got Dustin Henshaw, Tom, a couple others here, we could probably see what would happen.
Yeah, I agree.
Test for roundness.
Yeah. And maybe agreed. Right, okay, so follow up. This is our game between Eric and Zach. Zach looking to try and use those tanks, those Lehman Russes, to take out some of those armigers, but it looks like he's got nothing. Absolutely nothing.
Eric's doing what he wants to do. He's limiting his Zach's lines of fire. Eric is no slouch. He's had a bad 9th edition, I would say. He didn't show up for a lot of events. He wasn't doing the greatest, but now that he's back on Knights, you can see he's in his comfort zone.
Yes.
He's back into the way things were.
As long as there isn't a demon castle for him to charge into.
Yeah, as long as there isn't a demon castle with some kind of mortal wound spam, Eric feels okay.
He feels very comfortable, as you can see.
He's left his little hut in Montreal to come out here. It looks like a Helverin has been picked up.
It has, yeah, so... The Helverin has been... Okay, so that's going to help him bring it down. It's going to help him bring it down?
Yeah, it's going to give him 3 points and bring it down. Zach did a little minor,
Yeah, okay, that's one.
Under the table.
That's one. He's gonna slowly bring this game back.
Very much like a Magnificent Seven situation where he's now just got like notches on the table and he's just going through.
One at a time.
One at a time.
One at a time. You just got to knock him down. That's all you got to do.
Tell him there's only so many minutes left in the round.
There is so many minutes left in the round, actually. That said, there's only 18 minutes left on the round, and he doesn't have much. We are in turn, let me just get this right. We are in turn 4 or turn 3? Bottom of 3.
This is bottom of 3.
Bottom of 3.
But you know what? Like, big kudos to Zach for doing this and putting up this fight, even losing taking such a massive hit last round.
Yeah.
The game did slow down dramatically once that happened, but still.
Dramatically. I also think one of the things that's really necessary to talk about is, again, just how impactful the kind of like kill boxes outside of terrain. I don't know. I know that when you're outside of cover, I'll finish that thought after, because we do have our man, Mr. Valheffelfinger, in the field to bring us an update from the capital city bloodbath. So over to him now.
Val Heffelfinger here with Conrad Motika and Tim Dietliff, the two tallest men in 40K. They just wrapped up a real slobber knocker. Tim, if you might be able to comment a little bit on the game.
It was a good, tight game. Conrad was punished because he didn't go quite aggressive enough. He actually had the list to do it. He just was a bit scared of the Harlequins, and that let me take the game over.
Now, both of you guys obviously have incredible reach. Do you think it was a matter of fear, Conrad?
No, I did fail 3 charges that kind of mattered. I also made a couple positional errors, and that cost me the game.
Well, I like how you pulled that back by not entirely blaming the dice. But quite frankly, I'm terrified right now. This is an intimidating man sandwich. And I'm probably about ready to hand this back to Rob, who's not listening and just talking to Pete. So why don't we keep it rolling here? Tim, looking at the people still in the field, what are your thoughts about tomorrow?
It's going to be tough. Sammy is the one to look out for. Always hard games. He's the pick to win. I'm looking forward to playing him.
Of the people in front of you, you got Hamza, Dustin, Jeremy Atkinson, your coach, Francois Lalonde went through. Which one do you wish bad things to happen to?
Francois, because his army is garbage.
You know what? I kind of get the garbage Francois vibe too. That's pretty cool. Conrad, tomorrow, what are you looking to get out of things?
I'm hoping to go 4-2. That'd be nice for me. If I get 5-1, it's just gravy.
Everybody loves a 5-1 gravy train, and I'm not going to use the word train again in this position, but I will throw it over.
Thank you very much, Mr. Val Heffelfinger. It's very much appreciated. Okay, back on the table. Can Eric push through for the win? Only 16 minutes left on the round. He's got but moments. It's the dying embers of what has been a thrilling match. Definitely the highlight being that exploding Banehammer, which you rarely see on the tabletop. And so it's very much in the off. However, I think Eric still just holding on to his big lead. As you can see, a 20-point lead. Although Zach continuously managing to garner those points back. As you can see, those secondaries, as Pete talked about, becoming very crucial in his ability to achieve points. However, I think we're about to go into Eric's 4th turn with only 18 minutes left on the clock, and I think this is where he may put the boot in. Thank you so much. We've got he's got those 2 Armigers in the bottom. I think they're going to be eyeballing that Lehman Russ in the bottom right-hand corner. As you can see, if we just take a moment to look at, you can see just down at the bottom there. So those Armigers on the left-hand side, just behind that V shape, and they are gunning for this line. On the right-hand side, you can see it. There we go. It's flipped. So you can see. So they're gonna be taking a pot shot. They're gonna be trying to deal with this around the corner. And again, Eric just pushing all that pressure into the deployment zone of Zach. Zach having to push his way out. Well, he's never got to. The only thing we ever saw was 10 conscripts it was the conscripts just moving into the center board. It's the only time I've seen him cross the center at all for this match. So let's listen into the players right now and see how their game's going.
Intervened, giving him 12 on primary and taking away.
I'm not going to be able to shoot anything with this.
Yeah. 2d6 range. Roll the 10. Roll the 10. Yep. Yep. And the only reason it happened is because his big knight lived on 1 wound after turn 1. Yeah. No, it was the thermal cannon knight.
Good.
Lived on 1 wound.
So I'm positioning him to see that unit there, because that's the only thing he can actually shoot. This guy is going to come out of retirement, and I'll just, so it's a 4. So he's moving 1 inches. I said it's a 4 here.
As you can see, the laser
So
point
one
up
more.
back, making an important display on the tabletop. But we've heard that I think the players are going to finalize this round. And then I think that's going to be all 8. And it looks like Eric on that. Zach has done a great job of drawing that points back.
Yeah.
Like he's he's always kept those points going. And as you can see here, 61-45 in Eric's favor. But it does make you think, how will that game would have changed had the Banehammer not blown up?
And like Eric has been saying it a lot off camera, as it were. Like if you were to listen to the live game coverage later, many times Eric's brought up that if that Banehammer hadn't exploded, this would be a much tighter, if not like a game for Zach, because Zach's secondaries are so strong. I mean, the guy basically has been playing down 900 points from that explosion, and he's still like sitting at 8s for all his secondaries, 8s and 7s. And Eric, the knight secondaries are fine. They're nowhere near that good, right? He's sitting.
And
on
he just
6s.
hasn't left his deployment.
And he still hasn't left his deployment. He's sitting on 4s for primary. If he'd had those extra units that he could run onto objectives, which he kind of does now, he has those 2 Tempesta Scions units. I wouldn't be surprised if he tries to shove them up onto an objective just to see what'll happen. But I think at this point, it's all just like the reason why they're kind of figuring turn 4 is going to be it. The Helverins are. Eric wants to see what the Helverins are going to pick up, and then after that, all either of these guys are going to do are move models. So it's just like, how far can I move? Because the math is that everything else is going to be dead.
Okay.
So.
Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Okay, so it's definitely a win for Eric.
At this point, they're pretty sure Eric's got the win. It's just a matter of like how much do these 2 little Helverins that he's poked around the corners kill, and that's going to determine the game in terms of points. Yeah.
Okay. Oh, that's lovely. Okay. Well, I think. Okay.
Oh, it does look like Pask was picked up.
Okay, I think we just heard.
Eric really wanted it to explode, and they're telling him, please stop asking for explosions.
Yeah, please stop asking for it. Yeah, please just stop it. So there you can see that Lehman Russ. So Pask, I'm pretty certain.
Oh, no, I think it was actually the regular guy, actually.
The regular Lehman Russ. So that's gone down. Pask at the bottom left-hand corner, there and available. So. Like he's just losing firepower all the time, right?
At this point, he's got the 2 Tempesta Scions units at the top of the board. He's got these 5 mortars, and he's got Pask. That's like that. That does not an army make.
It does not. Okay, well then I feel comfortable calling this for
Eric.
For Eric, congratulations to Eric. I think we're just gonna. I think that's it for today.
Yeah, Rob's a little sleepy. Peter's a little belly achy. It's been quite the day.
I still think it's going to take him a good 10-15 minutes to wrap the game up.
Oh yeah.
So I think that's fair. What a day.
What a day. I'm going to get closer to you because you love it.
What a day. What a day. You are a good-looking man. Right. So it's been a lovely day. Let's just wrap it up. Big win for Eric. Congratulations.
Big win for Eric.
Huge congratulations to the Falcon, who's done an amazing job of providing some excellent insights into the competitive 40K games. Thank you very much for doing an amazing job.
Thank you.
A huge shout out to Mr. Val Heffelfinger for hilarious infield work. He's been great. Tom, an amazing camera person, doing great with Thighs of Steel.
Shortest shorts in 40K.
And shout out to Dickie. The big Dickie.
For figuring out how to use a microphone 3 rounds into the event.
No, Dickie did great and has been wonderful also in setup as well. So Yeah, so it was really fun. I personally enjoyed it. You know for a fact I haven't been absorbing as much 40k recently.
No, you're deep into the Age of Sigmar.
Yeah, like
super deep.
Just the best analyst in the world. But like other than just that. But like it's been really interesting. Tempo's really interesting to me. Yes. Honestly, about the games, terrain is definitive. Like, there is, like, why the conversation about terrain isn't, like, at the forefront of every content creator is mind-blowing to me. Because, like, it has to be pivotal. Like, surely pictures are taken ahead of time. Maybe lists that are able to adapt to it really well. But, like, all I can think all the time is, wow. Like, each of the games is defined by the terrain in some ways.
Yeah.
In some ways.
Every single game here. And we saw that in that Tau versus Sisters game. Just not pivoting those two pieces in the middle like they did in the Blood Angels Tau game. Massive difference. That Sisters player played from the back foot the whole game. Shockingly only lost by 1 point.
Yes.
That should have been a steamroll for those Tau. But that just goes to the skill of the players at the table. And yeah, terrain is so massive. We saw Capital City Bloodbath completely changed all of their terrain this year. They brought in a standardized format. Before they had a good 70 tables of just nonsense. Some of the most gorgeous terrain you've ever seen.
But nonsense.
But like every table was themed its own way, and a lot of them just no longer work to the way because of the way 9th edition is, right? I'm not as big a fan of the kind of the bland every table looks the same thing. But at the same time, like we've seen how efficient it's been.
Yeah, really effective. Really effective. It's been lovely. And if you ever get the opportunity to come to Capital City Bloodbath in Ottawa, this is my second time now, and it's been nothing but a pleasure. The organisation's been fantastic. Yes. I really enjoyed the mid-round briefing where everyone just got told off and told to be faster. That was my favourite bit. Just everyone in a group do better.
Chris Haynes and Darren Say, all these guys here, they put on such a great show. The food was actually anybody that's gone to an event and eaten a provided lunch usually doesn't have anything good to say about that provided lunch. This one was pretty solid. The last one was better, guys. Got to up your game again, but this one was not bad. The wrap was actually pretty delish, I'll have to say.
Delish, good. Well, that describes the day perfectly. It was a delish day.
It was a delish
Thanks
day.
to the Falcon, and thanks everyone for tuning in live. Hope you've enjoyed it. Don't forget there are 2 rounds tomorrow, which is going to be fun, and we're going to get to find out who will become the champion of Capital City Bloodbath, which is incredibly exciting. Have a lovely day. See you soon, and
bye.